Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Northeast High School. It's a District 12 site for a District 12 6A football championship. It's LaSalle College High School, fresh off taking down St. Joe's Prep for their first postseason playoff run to be unlocked since 2015, taking on Imhotep, a program that's been here many times before, a two-time state champ. They're looking to do it for their first time at the 6A level. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Bob Long, Jack McGuire, Pat Burkhead, and Jack Burns alongside. This is a heck of a rivalry here, but it's a rivalry we don't see all that often. It's a rivalry in that these are two of the best programs in the city, but in some ways, they don't see each other. Last time they played, 2019. LaSalle's won the last two times that these programs have played, but in the meantime, it's been Imhotep that's had the better statewide success. 2 state championships, they've been to 7 in the last decade and a half. And Jack, when you think about what LaSalle's been able to accomplish this year and what Imhotep is trying to get back to, this sets us up for one heck of a matchup.
Yeah, Bob, like you said, this is the 5th time that these two teams have faced each other. Imhotep took the first 2 games. LaSalle took the second 2. It's public versus Catholic. It's Imhotep versus LaSalle. I'm so excited for this game.
Yeah, Pat, and I know you follow this very, very closely here. What's impressed you about LaSalle when I think about getting the monkey off their back, winning twice against St. Joe's and once when it really mattered in November?
Yeah, I think it was most impressive that they did it in pretty convincing fashion. You know, the games weren't much of a nail-biter. LaSalle controlled most of the game, and I think it was very important that they got off to a good start defensively. All year, when LaSalle's gotten off to a good start defensively, they've been able to control and win a lot of games.
And they'll have to, Jack Burns, be good defensively against Imhotep Charter. Joey McLeish at quarterback. They have a 3-headed monster at running back that we'll get into. What is it about this LaSalle defense that has stepped up in the big moments?
Absolutely. You know, we look at games and this past season, and they've been improving nonstop. And I think it's really about their teamwork, their chemistry. This team pulls it together and pulls through when it really matters against big games like this.
2 of the better coaching staffs in the Philadelphia area, across the state as well. Brett Gordon in his 2nd year with the LaSalle College High School Explorers, but not his first time with LaSalle as a head coach. Well, as a head coaching stint, yes, but not his first time coaching for LaSalle. Of course, the all-time leading passer until Gavin Sidwar came along at his alma mater and was an assistant under his father, Drew Gordon, the late Drew Gordon. But something interesting about Brett Gordon, as well as Mark Schmidt, the offensive line coach, both of these guys also spent stints at Imhotep Charter. Both won a state championship with Imhotep Charter. They speak very highly about the school, about the program, about the leadership, and I think that'll be really fun to see 2 guys like that have been on both sides of the ledger coach against their former foe.
And not just that, but Brett Gordon's dad, Drew Gordon, was the head coach the last time the Explorers were here, so he's got to continue on the legacy.
Yeah, that's one. Well, 2015 was year 1 for John Steinmetz, but Drew Gordon indeed won the state championship as the head coach of the LaSalle Explorers. Devin Johnson, the head coach of the Imhotep Panthers, and again, a guy who is paid rent in Hershey and started to pay some rent in Cumberland Valley when they moved the state championships there. They're looking to get back to that spot. This just the 2nd year that Imhotep is a 6A program, and so that took them out of the playing Roman Catholics of the world, although Roman Catholic has continued to improve at a major clip, to then having to play St. Joe's Prep and LaSalle in this very game, the 6A title game. This would be the first time, if they're able to win it today, that they would advance at the 6A level through to an inter-district matchup. Winner of this game will take on Easton Area High School, a perfect 13-0 team. I don't know if any of you guys got to watch that game last night, but boy, can they play. They can score and run it up with the best of them. It's the best Easton team, quite frankly, since 2009 when LaSalle won a state quarterfinal up in Bethlehem in a snow-infested game. Trailing 14-0 in the first quarter, they came back and won it. So if LaSalle can move on here, memories will come to the forefront for many of the fans. So, guys, let's think about this here, right? We got a big game here today, an opportunity for LaSalle and Imhotep to move on to the next level. What's one key? We'll go Jack Burns, Pat Burkhead, and Jack McGuire. One key for each side.
I think a key for LaSalle is really maintaining a dominant offense throughout the whole game. you got to utilize your weapons and make the plays. And the key for Imhotep is, as well as that, but also keeping up a good defense against LaSalle's offense and, back and forth.
Yeah, I think Imhotep has some really skilled players at the skilled positions, like receiver and running back. You talked about the three-headed monster at running back, and obviously they have some great receivers too. So I think a key for them could just be Joey McLeish getting the ball to their weapons and letting them work in space. For LaSalle, I think it's kind of the opposite. I think it's going to be stopping those guys, like the linebackers, the defensive backs. I think they need to have a big day to contain those great players.
A key for LaSalle, like Pat said, you got to come out strong on defense to start the game. Imhotep, their key is to slow it down. I know we saw LaSalle and Roman Catholic have a shootout, fast-paced, hurry-up offense. I think Imhotep needs to settle down, get into their offense, and don't get sped up by LaSalle.
LaSalle's been a little bit depleted in the linebacking core, mostly due to injury. Zyke Scott, ineligible for the PIAA state playoffs. He transferred before the end of his sophomore year, but after his sophomore season of football, it was a surprising result for many that he was deemed ineligible for the PIAA state playoffs. That plus injuries to Nick Neary, among others, makes it a challenging situation. Folks will have to step up. J.P. Oates may get additional time in the linebacking core. That's one key. And remember that Zyke got transferred from Imhotep, so would have been playing and lacing up against his former team. A lot of storylines going into this one, folks. We are looking forward to it. Jack, Pat, Jack, and Bob here. We're so excited to bring you kickoff in about 15 minutes. We are a little bit late here today going off because the 4A championship at the District 12 level between Cardinal O'Hara and Olney finished a little late. It was an 11 a.m. kick. Now this will be moved to about a 3:15 kick, so stay with us, and we'll have more insight and analysis coming up next.
We're here to show you a better way to spend your state income taxes and get the money to where it's needed the most to the thousands of qualified kids.
What we like about Blocks is they really know where the need is.
This program ensures that their dollars come 100% into these kids for their tuition assistance.
If you are able, Blocks makes the EITC piece go very quickly and very smoothly.
Turn your PA state tax liability into need-based scholarships and receive a 90% tax credit.
Dunphy Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfort Avenue.
Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfort Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
My name is Patrick Donahue, a franchise consultant with FranChoice, the premier network of franchise consultants in America. FranChoice is a company that helps people find a franchise business that's the perfect fit for them. We work with the people who want to own a business but don't really know how to find one that's both a top-notch opportunity and a great match. We specialize in franchise opportunities with the following 3 characteristics: low investment, high margin, and rapid break-evens. The best thing about our service is that it's free to the public. We're paid by franchise companies for this service. The process is simple. First, we do an introduction. Then the candidate provides me with information. We have a consultation based on that information, and we build what's called the model. Once we have that model, we'll share that with 3 great opportunities that match your criteria. I will follow up with you through the entire process. Obviously, the best opportunities fit the criteria mentioned above. The way to find those opportunities is to spend some time with the people who work with the very best franchise companies looking to expand in your local area. I'm humbled by your consideration, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Meet David and Kay May, a dynamic team with a shared mission to help you turn your real estate dreams into reality. What sets them apart? Their wealth of experience, combined with a genuine passion for guiding clients every step of the way. They believe everyone deserves personalized attention, fair treatment, and excellent expert advice throughout the process, ensuring your journey is smooth and successful. David and Kay go above and beyond to meet your needs, ensuring expectations are not just met, but exceeded. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor, their personalized approach and commitment to service make every real estate journey smooth and rewarding. Contact them today to get started on your next real estate adventure.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
So, it's time for your business to renew your lease. Or perhaps you're right-sizing or relocating. This can be an exciting time, but it's also a major project to undertake. Hundreds of decisions to make, some of which may impact your business for the next decade. You know you need an expert on your side from start to finish. What if this expert had no conflicts of interest, no landlords to answer to, and a fiduciary responsibility to work solely in your best interest? Someone who knows the questions to ask, the levers to pull, the pitfalls to avoid. Enter the experts at Gola Corporate Real Estate. They've seen it all over the course of thousands of transactions in dozens of industries. Gola gets it. And what if those experts came with a team? Subject matter experts to manage everything that comes with this process. Space planning and design, relocation planning and budgeting, helping you manage your vendors, construction oversight, all with zero out-of-pocket cost to you. A turnkey experience that adds real value, value that flows right to your bottom line. Gola gets it. We've been partnering with clients like you for over 40 years, and we know what's important: solving problems, creating flexibility, protecting and stretching your dollars. Philadelphia-based with a national presence. Get to know Gola. Gola gets it.
When your car needs repairs and you can't wait, Meineke can help. With life's crazy schedule between work and family, you'll love Meineke's same-day service. Call today and Meineke will get your car in today. For new brakes, exhaust repairs, or your check engine light comes on, trust Meineke to do the job right. And families have been coming to Meineke for years because Meineke works on any make or model vehicle. Same-day service, value, and trust. Meineke, doing car care right.
Be a part of the biggest live events. The must-see matches. The game day celebrations. Experience live sports and entertainment the way they're meant to be seen. With Joe Hand Promotions, the global leader of live entertainment for bars, restaurants, and cinemas. Create unforgettable moments that fans won't want to miss. Keep the food and drinks flowing with watch parties that will bring customers in the door and expand dwell time. And watch as these visitors turn into loyal customers with exclusive content relationships with the nation's largest sports and entertainment providers. In over 10,000 bars, restaurants, and cinemas across America, and customizable packages for every type of venue. Make your business the place for the next must-see event. Because if fans can't make it to the stadium or arena, your venue is the next best place.
We welcome you guys back inside the broadcast booth and a chance to say hello to our buddy David Navo, who's going to be helping us with camera today. He is the best there is in this business, and we're so thrilled to have him next to us here. Jack McGuire, Pat Burkhead, and Jack Burns, they are assuming their position, getting ready to go. But, Jack, I know you wanted to hit some highlights before we got to the contest here today.
Yeah, Bob, LaSalle is coming off a big win against St. Joseph's Prep 24-14. Owen Johnson had an amazing game with 10 receptions for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. The last time and only other time that LaSalle defeated St. Joe's twice in one season was in 2008. Drew Gordon won 6 PCL championships and had a record of 7-8 versus St. Joseph's. Brett Gordon has won 2 PCL championships and has a record of 3-1 versus the Prep in only 2 years. Imhotep is coming off a big win against Lincoln High School, 16-0. They avenged a 26-25 loss to Lincoln earlier in the season, which had snapped their 35 public league game win streak. Senior linebacker Jordan Smith etched his name into Imhotep charter football history with a game-changing 101-yard interception return for a touchdown, sealing a 16-0 win in the Philadelphia Public League Championship. Smith's pick six came in the third quarter, stopping Lincoln's momentum during a lengthy drive and extending Imhotep's lead from 9-0 to 16-0. This 101-yard interception was a school record and the defining moment of the game. The only other scoring plays in that game were when Imhotep forced a safety to go up 2-0 in the first quarter, and Kassan Chapal ran for a 15-yard touchdown in the second quarter to go up 9-0. We are in for a great game here today.
Well, you mentioned Chapal, a guy who's only been back just a couple of weeks. He's battled some injuries over the course of the year. One of those super sophomores. He and Yazid McCorkle will be 2 of the keys in the backfield. But Zaire Coleman's a senior, 205 pounds, 3 years as a backup in this program behind Jabri Wallace Coleman. And so that is a tough guy to upend, but Coleman always was that key secondary option. Now he's the bell cow, and he'll get a little bit more help with Chapal, as you mentioned, Zach, as well as Yazid McCorkle. LaSalle will receive the opening kickoff. Imhotep won the toss and deferred their choice to the second half. LaSalle just 1 loss on the year. Imhotep, they had a much tougher start. They had a national schedule. They lost in the final possession of the game in the opener against Harrisburg. Against Imhotep, had a 7-0 lead in the first half, but then Joe McLeish got hurt, the quarterback, and kind of got away from them. Against Malvern Prep, McLeish was also out of that game, unable to play. So that one didn't go their way either. They lost 35-7. Lincoln High School defeated Imhotep, and it was the first public league loss for the Panthers in 7 years. And so when we talked to Devin Johnson, he said, hey, people forget how dominant Tep was at the 5A level, and they believe they can compete here at the 6A level. Well, standing in front of them in the 6A level are these guys in the gold helmets, their best season they've had since they won a state championship in 2009 with Drew Lockery at the quarterback position and Drew Gordon as the head coach of the LaSalle Explorers. Now we'll pause for the national anthem. As good a pep band as you'll hear. LaSalle College High School's pep band plays the national anthem, and we tick down to a much-anticipated matchup. Imhotep, the Kings of the Public League. They exerted that dominance, as Jack McGuire mentioned, with a 16-0 victory over Lincoln last weekend. And LaSalle, by taking down St. Joe's Prep last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, beg your pardon, 24-14. LaSalle gets back to this game for the first time in 10 years.
Bob, I think it's interesting to see how LaSalle comes out here because They were so high last week after beating their rivals, but they still have a lot of tough games to go if they want to win a state championship.
This one here today, the winner of this game will get Easton Area High School, who pounded Parkland 42-17 last night from Bethlehem Area School District Stadium. It was a heck of a game, a very impressive performance. No time to look ahead, though. Next week is next week. For right now, it's the big game in Philadelphia, the District 12 6A Championship. Chima Auguste takes this one back for LaSalle, and a nice start out past the 30-yard line. And that's where we'll meet the LaSalle offense with the big boys on the offensive line. From left to right, Grayson McHugh at left tackle, the Notre Dame commit. Chris Berneski is a junior, second year, getting significant minutes at the left guard position. Jacob Jackson, a senior center, first year playing the position, played on the right-hand side of the line last year. Andrew Swords, an athletic guard. They love to get him moving out, pulling and other action. He's at right guard. And Danny Lawyer. Nasty is how Brett Gordon defines his blocking, and that's Danny Lawyer getting involved early, but a nice job to get through that block, and a tackle made on the play by Caleb Woosley. Caleb Woosley is the younger brother of Kenny Woosley, playing for Penn State University. LaSalle is in those navy blue uniforms, sharp with the white pants and the gold helmets. Imhotep, they always look good with whites, tops and bottoms with those black helmets and the red stripe. Gavin Sidwar is the starting quarterback for LaSalle. Over the middle for John Patrick Oates. And Oates on the second play of the game is inside the 30.
Bob, coming into this game, senior tight end J.P. Oates, the James Madison commit, had 25 receptions, 351 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, Jack, and Gavin Sidwar loves him over the middle. He's such a big target, and it seems like he catches everything that comes his way.
And I know the LaSalle defense loves him too because he's been playing defense a lot this year.
The rest of the offense, Ozzie Nelson, starting tailback. You just saw John Patrick Oates. They call him JP, getting involved. Chima Auguste gets the start. Jimmy Mahoney not expected to play today. Joey O'Brien and Owen Johnson, the other starting receivers. O'Brien, of course, going to Notre Dame next year, and that's O'Brien laying a block down the field along with Owen Johnson, allowing the tailback, Ozzie Nelson, they call him X, to get 5 on first down.
Yeah, Bob, Ozzie Nelson was just named to the first-team All-Catholic list, and you can't be surprised because junior running back Ozzie Nelson has rushed for 508 yards on 100 carries and 11 touchdowns coming into this game.
They overload on the wide side of the field. $11 personnel for LaSalle, second down and 5. Line to gain is the 14. Ozzie Nelson, good bounce there as he cuts up the middle, but Imhotep there on the stop. And let's meet that defense. Amir Blackshear, Zaki Wiggins Hall, Joseph Sonda, 4-year starter, and Jaisir Carson. Those are the 4 across the front. In the linebacking core, Mikkel Pierce, Charles Belser, Jordan Smith, Dougie Thompson, the sophomore, and then Woosley, Drayton, Willie Norris, and you'll see Kyer Johnson as well when they take a linebacker off the field. Third down and 3. You would think 4-down territory here in the early stages for LaSalle would be about a 35-yard field goal if they're stopped. Back shoulder ball for Joey O'Brien. He tried to bring it down with one hand, but Woosley again in there on coverage. And I expect the sophomore to be on O'Brien all day long. He followed him there, Pat, from each side of the field to the other. So I think they're going to have Woosley against O'Brien.
Yeah, and for as good as Joey O'Brien is, I think it's very exciting for opposing cornerbacks to be able to guard him just because they know a lot of people are watching, and it's a great opportunity for them to showcase their skills.
And now we see the freshman Jordan Reed check into the game.
Yeah, Jack, he had a great touchdown catch against Father Judge.
Again, with Jimmy Mahoney not available today, they'll dip into Auguste. They'll chip into Jordan Reed. 4th down and 3, they go empty. 5 wide, bringing the pressure. Tough pass, some contact, no call. Intended receiver, J.P. Oates. And Imhotep gets off the field. This is a really good job of coverage here. Again, the LaSalle fans may say, hey, maybe some contact, but that's the sophomore Dougie Thompson replacing Ion Smith, who was injured earlier this year. In coverage or in the box, a very versatile young man. And now an opportunity for Imhotep's offense.
Yeah, Bob, me and Pat were talking about pregame how LaSalle has to come out strong on defense, but we just saw Imhotep come out strong on defense there.
Yeah, no, Salle has a chance to match that here. Hopefully their D linemen can be really physical today against a big O-line.
Hand off to Zaire Coleman, and that line just got obliterated up front.
And like I was saying, J.P. Oates, who has gotten a lot of minutes this year on defense, comes up with a huge tackle there.
I mean, that is just, if you're Devin Johnson there, you're looking at that play saying, what are we doing? Multiple guys got through there unblocked. 2nd down and 14 coming up. The defensive line for LaSalle, Ryan Fandozzi, Kyrie Mitchell, Jamel Williams. We'll see some Caleb Davidson over the course of the day as well. And J.P. Oates will play that edge rusher and can also sink into that linebacking core. Josh Simmons is out there in the linebacking core. Chima Auguste playing both ways here today. Lucas Johnson in the secondary. Flinging this one out wide. That's well above the intended target. Number 22, Kassan Chappelle.
And Auguste played wide receiver early in the season, and then he kind of shifted to more defensive role. He's been playing some safety, some cornerback. It'll be intriguing to see what he can provide for the Explorers on offense today, too.
We see him on special teams a lot, too.
We also didn't get to mention Aiden Christie starting at corner today. We mentioned Lucas Johnson. In the secondary, we'll see Joey O'Brien and Trey Hopkins. 3rd down, 14 yards to go. McLeish fires this one into the flat. It's caught by Chappelle, well short of the line to gain. Good coverage there by LaSalle. And now here's the question mark. Imhotep traditionally has struggled at times in the special teams, but I think this one is too far to try to go for it on 4th down and 4.
And that tackle by J.P. Oates is what me and Pat were saying this LaSalle defense needed.
The quarterback, Joey McLeish, will both play quarterback and punt the football.
And kick the field goals, Bob.
And he will kick the field goals as well. They nearly got there. That was everything but the block. Owen Johnson has some room to run. Needs to make one miss and does. Now he starts to get some blocks, and there were some of the illegal variety. Flags everywhere, and this will push back LaSalle. And I think it's the Trey Hopkins blindside block that we saw right there. And we're going to slow this one down even a little bit more. This one's going to hurt. It's not a block in the back. He certainly didn't get him from the back, but they do have a point of emphasis, these officials, and quite frankly, the sport as a whole, is the blindside block, and I think that fits the description. So that'll back LaSalle way up inside their own 25-yard line at about the 22. Two men in the backfield along with Gavin Sidwar. Play action. Sidwar loves the middle of the field, and it's open again for Joey O'Brien. Tough cover there for Woosley, and that time O'Brien got the best of him.
What a ball from Gavin Sidwar. Bob, coming into this game, senior quarterback Gavin Sidwar, the Missouri commit, has passed for 2,399 yards on 166 completed passes and 29 touchdowns. He also has 1 rushing touchdown.
3 wide on our side of the field, so they'll go one-on-one to O'Brien. Cuts it inside, may have had more of an angle to the edge, but a good job by the cornerback again. They're going to keep picking on him here, Caleb Woosley, but he set the edge and forced O'Brien back to the middle.
Jack, before the game you were talking about how Imhotep cannot get sped up, and we saw there Coach Gordon really ushering his team to get to the line and set up fast.
Malik Drayton lines up one-on-one against his fellow number 12, Chima Auguste, on the field side. Sidwar on the roll, and it's underneath for Owen Johnson. That's a great-looking ball.
LaSalle's done a great job early in this game showing that their offense means business and that they're able to get yards down the field.
That is a zone killer. That route there where they ran Auguste deep and then filtered Owen Johnson right into the soft pocket of that zone. Kind of ran the same route, and Owen Johnson cut it off. A very good play call by the offensive staff. First down and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. They'll throw the screen, and O'Brien is cut down. That was a big ask to get Danny Lawyer out there to block, and a great job defensively.
We've seen Joey O'Brien targeted many times already this game, and that makes sense because he recently earned the PCL MVP award, his second in a row.
How about freshman Basile Reed? Talked to Devin Johnson this week, and then right before the game he said, I got one more guy to pique your interest. Basile Reed, you'll see some from him. That's a heck of a play by a freshman coming out, avoiding that block to make the play. Jamel Williams is lined up effectively at the tight end spot as an extra lineman, and so they'll run that way. Azir Nelson, how about Jamel Williams leading the way?
Jack, we talked about LaSalle setting the tone of a physical game defensively, but right there, Jamel Williams, that was a very physical block, opened up a great hole for Azir Nelson.
And you got to give love to Andrew Sorge as well. We talked about his footwork coming into the game from the right guard spot. He is going to pull to the edge, and that is just overloading to that side. When you saw Jamel Williams out there, you thought something was up, and you got three excellent blockers leading the way for a star-studded tailback.
And that is Azir Nelson's 12th rushing touchdown of the season.
I don't think, I know we have the LaSalle coaches also in this box, a nice cozy booth here today at Northeast High School. I don't know that we've seen Jamel Williams on the line. It's possible that I've missed it in the past, but that's a nice wrinkle that they've brought out here today. Mr. Reliable, Chris Heck, continues his excellent year and makes it 7-0.
And now he is 46 for 47 on PAT attempts.
And that's why he was also named a first-team All-Catholic, Jack.
This portion of today's game brought to you by the Riley, Rakowski, and Malloy Funeral Home, an enthusiastic supporter of LaSalle Athletics. Saul Buda today. Good to see Andrew Buda Rakowski, and he sends his best to Coach Brett Gordon, his classmate, the student-athletes, and the LaSalle football program as a whole. Riley, Rakowski, and Malloy Funeral Home, a proud sponsor. And then also want to thank Joe O'Brien Roofing, family-owned with over 40 years experience in both residential and commercial roofing. Need a new roof? Have a leak? Need patchwork? Call Joe. They've installed or repair every type of roofing, and they can help you. They offer free estimates and inspections and offer roofing, siding, and gutter work. Joe is a proud Roman Catholic grad, but of course is very proud of his son, Joey, who has starred at LaSalle for the last few years. And a good start until that laundry came out on the near side of the field. Out past the 30, but we'll take a look at this flag. Long discussion there in the middle of the field. That's our guy, David Navo there. You can walk as far as you want, Mr. White Hat. David's following you. It's holding against Imhotep. That is an odd one. is an odd one on a kick return to have the receiving team hold. And the flag came out from midfield, well past where the ball was at any given time. So LaSalle's gotten into the red zone twice. They scored once, and they turned it over on downs once. Imhotep needs to get moving there. It's not going to work that time. Cooper Halig in there on the stop on the running back, Chappelle.
As we've seen already in this game, LaSalle's defense has done a great job of pushing through Imhotep's offensive line and going for the tackles.
And that was senior defensive end and fullback Ryan Fandozzi, who coming into this game had 46 tackles and 1.5 sacks.
Kassan, they call him Sonny Chappelle, in the running back position along with the quarterback Joey McLeish. McLeish pulls it, throws it underneath. And a long way to go there. Nice job coming out of that area there. Brian Colmer, the sophomore, one of the best track athletes in the state. This time he just sits down, finds the football, and turns and runs like he's running down the 100-meter dash about 30 yards to his left.
Yeah, Bob, and his sophomore classmate, Bayer Murphy, will also be a huge part of their passing game. Those two sophomores have a really bright future.
And on LaSalle's defensive line, there's two sophomores that have a bright future ahead of them.
Cooper Halig is everywhere. He gets in on that tackle again. You mentioned Fandozzi and Halig, Jack, in there on a combined tackle on the last one. This is a solo tackle for loss for Cooper Halig.
Yeah, Bob, coming into this game, senior linebacker Cooper Halig, the Ohio State lacrosse commit, had 66 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and an interception.
There are some terrific dual sport athletes and a lot of lacrosse guys on this team. Very impressive. We've seen Halig. We've seen Colton McAleer, who's been dinged up over the course of the year. Keenan Stahl's a lacrosse player as well. I know there are others. It's an important part of the high school experience. 2nd down and 11. Line to gain on the other side of the field is at the 46. Oates, he was on the blitz, and it forced the high throw. Good job there by Aiden Christie in coverage.
Going back to Cooper Halig, Bob, before the game you touched on that the LaSalle linebacker core might be a little bit weak today because they're missing some players. Not weak, but limited in what they have players-wise, and Cooper Halig has done such a great job stepping up so far in the linebacker room.
And he's done it all year, Patrick.
Yeah, this linebacker core is so deep. Josh Simmons, Nick Neary, Halig, Zachy Scott, they just have so many guys that can play.
Coincidentally, not so many that can play today.
Sal brings extra, and they'll throw it to where the pressure came from. It's an excellent play by Imhotep, and it all depends on the spot. The spot is going to be right at that line to gain, and the official is waving it onward. 1st down, Panthers. Well, they talked a lot. Devin Johnson, the rest of the coaching staff, about how much Joey McLeish has improved from a leadership standpoint, blocking out the noise. He said QB1 is a lifestyle, kind of a heart-to-heart between the head coach and the quarterback earlier in the year. That's a calm, collected throw, just throwing to where the pressure came from. Now 1st and 10. McLeish takes a shot. Nobody was there. And it was a walk-in touchdown if it could have been caught by Colmer. Maybe overthrown just a hair. Lucas Johnson must have slipped on the play there. And LaSalle very fortunate.
Lucas Johnson has been so good this season, Bob. Coming into this game, he had 8 pass deflections and 24 tackles, as well as an interception.
And that, Jack Burns, looked like the read regardless. I mean, 3-step drop, and he just let it go. Just so happened that there was a slip. If he had seen the slip, I think that ball comes out a little shorter, a little underthrown.
Right, absolutely. You know, if they made that catch, that would have been a touchdown for a tie game.
Instead, now they're going to have a 3rd down and long. J.P. Oates in there on the tackle for loss. And Imhotep, unless this line starts to operate a little bit differently, they are going to struggle to run the football. LaSalle's getting all kinds of pressure.
Yeah, right now that pressure's coming from the outside, mainly JP Oates. But I think as this game advances, if it stays on the outside, we could also see Caleb Davidson, Jamel Williams, all those guys get to work on the inside.
Yeah, and it starts on the inside, Patrick, with senior nose tackle Jamel Williams, the U-Albany commit, who coming into this game had 46 tackles and 2.5 sacks.
3rd and 15. You think about cutting this in half and giving yourself a 4th and reasonable. And lobs this one. Again, it was high to the sideline. Zaire Pollard, big target at 6'1", could have used to have been 6'2", but that's a couple of early misses for Joe McLeish.
And that's Owen Johnson back to receive the punt. Coming into this game, he averages 14.1 yards per punt on 10 returns. He took one back for a touchdown for 71 yards at William Tennant High School against Bonner Prendergast.
He's been dangerous all year, Jack, and I think the opposing teams don't like punting to him.
And the sophomore was just named to the second-team All-Catholic list.
That's a booming punt by McLeish and takes a hop into the end zone. So it'll end up being a 46-yard punt, net of 26. And LaSalle's offense will come back onto the field. This portion of today's game brought to you by Bala Dermatology. Beg your pardon on that. I want to thank Dr. Mary Griffin, offering comprehensive medical and cosmetic skincare, providing early detection for treatment of skin cancer, treatment of all skin conditions, and many cosmetic options to reduce sun damage and help you love your skin. Visit them online at balladermatology.com. Dangerous ball dropped by Owen Johnson, and that's one where that second tip where it flies into the air there could lead to some real problems.
And I believe that was the first time that Gavin Sidwar targeted Owen Johnson this game.
He did make one catch on the near side when he sat down in coverage on a rollout earlier in the game, but I think second target for Johnson.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more of that because sophomore wide receiver Owen Johnson coming into this game had 46 receptions, 650 receiving yards, and 11 touchdowns. One of those touchdowns was from the Wildcat formation at Father Judge.
5 wide. Sidwar eludes pressure and flings it over the middle to the freshman Jordan Reed. It'll be a first down for LaSalle.
And I think that is one of the best plays I've ever seen from Gavin Sidwar out of the pocket. He did a great job of avoiding the rush.
Well, there is whistles and a flag, and the early indication is holding against LaSalle. But the tape doesn't lie, Pat. The tape exists. Missouri can pull that tape up for Gavin Sidwar. It's a heck of a play.
And it can get hard for the offensive line when the quarterback does try to get outside because they're just trying to hold their guy in, and I think that's where the holding may have been called on Grayson McHugh there.
Well, and that's what, if you're an Imhotep fan, you like to see, right? You have a big, strong defensive line, Blackshear, Wiggins Hall, Sonda, the 4-year starter, All-State last year, and Jaisier Carson. They also like Ethan Mapp, number 30, the next great defensive lineman, says many on the coaching staff and beyond at Imhotep. But LaSalle's got a pretty darn good offensive line as well. That'll be a battle all day long. Notre Dame commit Grayson McHugh. Andrew Sorge feels like he's been doing it forever. Jacob Jackson at the center position. That's the matchup to watch. Owen Johnson on the screen. Johnson wiggles his way past the 20 to the 22. It'll set up an 8 yards to go. Line to gain at the 30. Third down coming up.
Now we see senior running back Desmond Ortiz, the Brown commit, who has rushed for 158 yards on 32 carries and 2 touchdowns coming into this game. He also has 5 receptions for 64 yards and 1 touchdown. That touchdown also came at Father Judge.
Bob, you mentioned Grayson McHugh, and I got the opportunity to interview him this week. Him and this offensive line are just so excited to play in this game.
Well, they played at Pittsburgh Central Catholic, Malvern Prep, right, Pat? They played against elite defensive linemen all year long. This year is no different. That's well covered there by Imhotep. Even if that ball was caught by J.P. Oates, they settled into a soft zone and invited Grayson McHugh, Gavin Sidwar, and that LaSalle offense to throw it underneath.
Yeah, Bob, Grayson was talking about how just switching to his position last year, playing the great competition off the edge that he's faced has been so good for his development, just seeing what elite defensive linemen can do against him and adapting to it.
Aiden Christie comes onto the field late. He's going to run around the Imhotep, and I think that's going to be a flag, and it will. That flag came out because, quite frankly, Aiden Christie neither got set nor on sides. I mean, look at this. This ball, number 22 on the right side of your screen, ball just comes out before he's set. That's a miscue that Brett Gordon, Neil French, and the rest of the special teams unit will not be happy with.
Yeah, Bob, Chris Heck averages 30.5 yards per punt on 15 punts this year. He really needs to kick a long one here.
Yeah, Jack, it seems like Imhotep just subbed in some new rushers. With the ball moved back, maybe they're going to try to go after this one.
Malik Drayton, the cornerback, has his heels at the 45. Not a lot of wind here today. Heck boots a good one, and everybody gets away. And it'll be down right at midfield. Great starting field position for Imhotep Charter. The defense got off the field by providing pressure, Jack Burns, against Gavin Sidwar and making life difficult on the LaSalle offensive line.
Absolutely. We saw in that one play, Imhotep did a great job of pressuring that offense, making Gavin Sidwar manage it and go for that throw, which eventually ended in the flag. But they did a great job of covering their receivers, even though they did make some missteps on those catches, but still a great job by this defense.
And one thing to note, Imhotep is one throw away from tying this game on that deep one to Colmer. Their offense is definitely clicking, and they have a very good chance to score here.
And that wasn't the only time that they missed the opportunities.
1st and 10 for McLeish. Clean pocket. He'll take another shot. Goes one-on-one, and that's incomplete. Tried to intend it for Zaire Pollard, 6'1", against the much shorter Aiden Christie, but he threw him out of bounds for a second time.
And me and Pat have talked about this all season. Aiden Christie is just glued to every defender that he covers.
Another terrific track athlete. We talked about Brian Colmer being a great track athlete. Aiden Christie is as well. Jimmy Mahoney, who isn't playing today. We've talked about that a lot on our LaSalle broadcasts, but set the school's 400-meter dash record. One of the best runs of the day thus far, about 5 yards in between the tackles for Sonny Chappelle. 3rd down, 5 yards to go, and you might think 4 down territory. They don't need to snap it before the end of the quarter. We're under that 40-second play clock.
That was the best run Imhotep's had all game because LaSalle's defense has done a great job of stopping it and getting through the line.
LaSalle with a single high safety, Trey Hopkins. They will snap it and run it to Chappelle, who lost a half yard.
Brought down by Josh Simmons there.
Yeah, Jack, another linebacker stepping up. Josh Simmons has been great all year, and he's also a very solid running back.
Yeah, one of the 5 solid running backs this LaSalle team has.
And so a great start from LaSalle offensively. They put 7 on the board on their second possession. Imhotep now trying to drive down the field and tie the football game. You're watching the District 12 6A Football Championship on Bob Long Sports. We'll be right back.
The all-new Infiniti QX80 has redefined what a luxury SUV should be. A V6 twin turbocharged engine, available 64-color personalized ambient lighting and 24-speaker sound system, biometric cooling, Pro Pilot Assist, and so much more. Experience the Infiniti QX80 today at Faulkner Infiniti of Willow Grove and redefine your luxury expectations. To be sure.
Next Play Basketball is the largest AAU program in the greater Philadelphia area. Next Play also offers camps, clinics, and private training for boys and girls. They blocked the football. LaSalle got the block. A curious decision in its own right to punt 4th and 5 from the LaSalle side of the field. And now you're sick to your stomach if you're an Imhotep fan, but this is something that LaSalle's been waiting on. They've been close all year long, Jack Burns, to getting to some of these punts, a couple blocked, but there were more they could have gotten. They got that one.
Absolutely. That was very impressive on LaSalle's team being able to block that.
Yeah, I believe it was Joey O'Brien. Great job of getting to the punter, getting his arms out. Now we see Trey Hopkins on offense.
A momentum shifting type play. Maybe you take a shot right here. Sidwar will take the shot for Owen Johnson. He almost brought it in. Maybe a half step overthrown, but that's a really good ball by Sidwar. That's better overthrown than underthrown there because Johnson had his guy beat. And one where maybe if you lay out, you can come down with that football there.
Yeah, we talked about a few track athletes so far, and Owen Johnson doesn't run track, but I think if he did, he'd be pretty good at it.
He's just a sophomore, Pat. Plenty of time. Where's Greg Bilecki when you need him? Stop by Owen Johnson's locker, see if you can get him out for the spring.
Yeah, Bob, there's track stars on the field and track stars in the booth like you.
Yeah, like me. Azir Nelson. Nelson running through guys. Gains 11 on 2nd and 10, first down.
And this offensive line has been so impressive so far. They set up Azir Nelson for great opportunities and gave Gavin Sidwar plenty of time to make decisions.
One of the best players in the country, Grayson McHugh. Watch where he gets. That's big 78 that he's going to fly by right there. Coming from the left side of the line, that is a fleet of foot big man. Excellent strength, great versatility to get out and move.
And one of the most impressive plays by this offensive line came by a defensive player.
Not that time as Imhotep able to hold Azir Nelson for no gain. Number 25, Joseph Sanda. Wearing number 25 for his buddy Jasir Whittington, who carved out quite a career for himself at Imhotep Charter, now at the University of Pittsburgh. And when Whittington left, Sanda said, I want that number. And now there are other younger defensive tackles that are saying when Sanda goes away, we want to wear that number for Joe. And it may turn into the best guy or the senior leader in the box is going to wear 25 for Imhotep for years to come. 2nd down and 10, Sidwar. And that was blocked at the line. Fortunate to fall to the turf. Well, if you can't get to the quarterback, put your hands in the air. Look at Blackshear on the edge, and that's Amir Blackshear, 2-year starter, has an interception and 2 fumble recoveries this year, knocking that down.
I think we see LaSalle take a shot here to either Joey O'Brien or Owen Johnson on the left side of the field.
They could do that. They certainly could. There's a lot of ways you can call this. It's 4-down territory any way you slice it. 3rd and 10. Sidwar over the middle, and it was incomplete. 2 hands on it in the secondary. That ball came out earlier than the receiver was expecting it. So now 4th down and 10, indeed. 4-down territory. The offense stays on the field. It would be a 47-yard field goal.
Bob, we have seen Gavin Sidwar punt 4 times this year, averaging 27.3 yards per punt. So I wonder if we will see a punt here.
I don't think so, but that's just me. I think 30 yards, 30-yard line, 10 yards to go. I think you trust this offense and let them sling the football. 11 personnel, 3 wide. And Joey O'Brien on the crossing pattern. Just barely by a shoelace, taken down at the 10. A great route. Owen Johnson with the clear out. He's the one that runs the streaks. Almost serves as a little pick play. And Imhotep did not get into a great defensive formation for that. Now very quickly back to the line. LaSalle will keep it moving. And now they don't see what they like. They'll take their time and look to the sideline. A huge first down on 4th and 10. Good call from the play caller from LaSalle, the head coach, Brett Gordon. Back shoulder. Joey O'Brien got 2 mitts on it and got the feet down. Touchdown, LaSalle.
And Gavin Sidwar loves Joey O'Brien in the red zone. He's hit him so many times, both over the middle and near the sideline on those fade-type routes. And Joey O'Brien seems to always go up and grab it.
Yeah, and that was the senior wide receiver and safety, Joey O'Brien, the Notre Dame commit. On offense, coming into this game, he had 58 receptions, 877 receiving yards, and 13 touchdowns. Now he has 14.
And it's not going to be at least for another 3 years that he's going to need to get 2 feet down on a play like that, but I think he got him down anyway. Tough cover again for Caleb Woosley, the sophomore at 6 foot, 175. LaSalle leads after a kick. Chris Heck extra point, 14-0. 9:36 to play, second quarter. This portion of today's game brought to you by E&M Insurance, longtime sponsor of us here on Bob Long Sports, an independent insurance agency serving the area's business and personal insurance needs. Owned and operated by Chris Marr, class of 1989. Servicing the Delaware Valley's insurance needs since 1988, built on the principles of providing superior customer service and quality insurance solutions for their customers. They're an independent agent, meaning they work with a select group of highly rated insurance companies that have proven their performance over the years. Look for E&M Insurance online for your business or personal insurance on all levels at eandminsurance.com or call 215-368-9555. It's a live football there and caught going backwards. And LaSalle's special teams is on it. Aiden Christie in there on the stop and did not look particularly in sync on the Imhotep side of things there.
Yeah, and LaSalle's kickoff has been impressive all year. They put some of their fastest guys on that team, and they can get down the field at such a high pace.
And one of the fastest guys on the team is a freshman, Jeray Dow, who was just out there.
Jack Burns, get the sense that this is an important drive for Imhotep. 4 drives for LaSalle. They've been inside the 10 3 of those times. They've scored touchdowns twice. If this is indeed going to be a track meet, Imhotep needs to get moving now.
Absolutely. I think key for this Imhotep offense is to focus on their pass game. They've have nothing but struggles with their run, and their pass has been most what's successful.
They go up the middle. Gain of about 2 on first down in between the tackles.
And this could be a statement drive for LaSalle's defense as well. We could see Kyrie Mitchell and Caleb Davidson, the 2 sophomores, the 2 very talented sophomores.
We haven't given much love to the Imhotep offensive line yet. Brian Deuce Graves at the left tackle position. Naeem Powell, an enforcer, at the left guard. Ibn Graham, the junior center. Maryland commit Jesse Moody, big-time player at right guard, and Brian Moore, the 4-year starter at right tackle. They'll again go to the running game. A big bowling ball. Sayer Coleman at 205. Hadn't seen much, maybe any, of him. Early on, it was mostly Sonny Chappelle. And they're going to now go in between the tackles and trust one of the biggest, strongest running backs you'll see.
And if you look back at the Malvern game, Zeke Bates was able to keep Malvern in that game by running in between the tackles. I think Sayer Coleman runs a little bit similarly to him. They're both big backs.
Now Joey McLeish taken down by Jamel Williams after a gain of 3 yards. That was a designed quarterback keeper.
Pat, Zeke Bates was so hard to bring down.
Yeah,
a terrific back.
LaSalle's faced a bunch of really amazing running backs this year, so hopefully they're used to it by now and can try to contain Sayer Coleman.
You got Maj Gowans, Kion Billups, Zeke Bates, like we just said, and many more.
Chris Black out at Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Nothing doing that time.
Salim Frink at Bonner.
Another first-team All-Catholic. He had a really impressive year.
LaSalle did a nice job stringing that out. It looked like it was Halig in there on the stop again, racking up all kinds of numbers defensively this year and particularly today. Imperative, you would think. Third down here for Imhotep. Still better than halfway to go in this second quarter. Pollard, the man in motion. And it's deflected at the line. Fell right in between Halig and Fandozzi, but LaSalle brought the heat, got the hands in the air, and forces a decision here on fourth down.
And last time LaSalle special teams blocked Imhotep.
Looked like Trey Hopkins in there on the block.
Trey Hopkins has been so talented on defense this year, Bob. Coming into this game, he has 14 pass deflections and 20 tackles.
Certainly portends to be a big part of the offense next year as well.
He was a pretty big part of it this year as well.
But with the departure of J.P. Oates, Joey O'Brien, Jimmy Mahoney, you would think that he will really take a big role as a senior. 6:56 to play, second quarter. LaSalle leads 14-0 against Imhotep.
And Jack Burns, I know you love the run game with Ozzie Nelson. Now is the perfect time for this LaSalle Explorers team to utilize Ozzie Nelson, get down the field, and then maybe look for a little slant shot to either Owen Johnson or Joey O'Brien, as Patrick likes.
Absolutely. We've already seen Ozzie Nelson do great this game with that first touchdown, and it'd be great to see him do more.
Yeah, long drive for LaSalle here time-wise would be very good. If they can burn off a few minutes and also score a touchdown, I think that's what would be perfect for them in Brett Gordon's mind.
Nelson up the middle and falls forward. Gain of 7 on first down. Hey, good chance to play America's favorite game, by the way. Where are you at? Let us know where you're watching the game from. We know we have some new viewers from the Public League. So give us a follow on Twitter at BobLongSports and shoot us a note. Let us know where you're watching the game from. Also want to welcome the Easton area fans that I'm certain from the District 11 company or country are watching here this afternoon. They know that they have the winner of this game at a site and time to be determined. It might be up their way, maybe on a Friday night. First down for Ozzie Nelson. Yards after contact and contact balance, two things that jump off the page when you look at Ozzie Nelson. So also want to ask folks, while you are shooting us a message, letting us know where you're watching the game from. Again, we'll give you a quick shout on the air if we can. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. We will be broadcasting as many games as we can over the fall and winter here. We do LaSalle and Philadelphia Catholic League football all season long. So please, in advance, it helps us, and thank you so much for doing so. Ozzie Nelson to the second level. Ozzie Nelson inside the 20 to the 16-yard line.
What did I say, Jack Burns?
You love to see it.
And will Jack McGuire's prophecy come true? Maybe something over the middle of the Joey O'Brien or Owen Johnson here.
I think they bleed a little more time off the clock. Once they get inside the 10-yard line, you look for Owen Johnson, Joey O'Brien, J.P. Oates, or another member of this LaSalle offense over the middle.
Listen, you had a lot of guys up at the line there, and you saw Jordan Smith, the linebacker number 8. That's his responsibility. He's got to get to that hole to make that tackle. Was a little late on that step, and Ozzie Nelson, just too good at that point, gets downhill. First and 10 from the 16. Over the middle, and that ball was just high. Intended receiver, John Patrick Oates. A walk-in touchdown if the ball was a hair lower.
And that is what I thought they were going to look for. I think they still look for it here. Maybe
it's a great play call, right, Jack? I mean, the middle of that field is going to be wide open because Ozzie Nelson is getting downhill. They have to commit the numbers. the run-pass option there, right? He pulls that football and sees that linebacker come to the line. That's going to allow Oates to get behind the coverage.
And Bob, Ryan Fandozzi is now in on offense. Like you said, and like I've mentioned a few times since you said it, he changed his number last year in order to play offense.
And this time he's going to be a lead blocker for Ozzier Nelson, gain of 3. That's right, wore number 67 last year. Ended up switching mid-year and caught a touchdown pass late in the 2024 campaign. Caught maybe the biggest ball of the game against St. Joe's Prep in a 17-14 score on 3rd and 11. Quarterback rollout for Gavin Sidwar. Fandozzi, while 3 receivers were dinged up at the time for LaSalle, got into the flat, moved the sticks, and the rest was history.
He's a guy full of energy and excitement.
3rd down. 7 yards to go. Auguste is the only receiver to the field side. Sidwar steps up. He dumps it underneath, and it will be close, likely a yard or 2 short. And here's the question. Do you take the points and go up 3 scores? Or do you try to make a statement right here and punch a 3rd touchdown in?
Pat and Jack, what are your thoughts?
You know, I think it looks like Gavin Sidwar's staying on the field. You're up 2 scores. If you score a touchdown here, you're up 3, which would make it very difficult for Imhotep to come back from.
He came all the way to the sideline, so it's going to take a little bit of the time off the clock. Gavin Sidwar also very good at inducing offsides with hard counts over the course of the year.
No Tyler today to talk about the clap, though.
And he went for it there. Imhotep, very disciplined. A lot of film on there at this point in the season. Will they snap the football? They will. 4th down. It's caught, and it's in for the touchdown. A second 4th down where LaSalle goes for it. Joey O'Brien, the recipient.
And now Gavin Sidwar is 3 touchdown passes away from breaking his own coach's all-time record in LaSalle College High School history. Brett Gordon currently holds the single-season touchdown record with 33. Gavin Sidwar is now at 31 this season.
And here's just a quick look at some of his accolades over the course of the year.
Yeah, Bob, that was going into the postseason.
All-time passing attempts, record holder, completion percentage, completions, etc. And then another big one that he hit recently, and thanks to Jack McGuire standing next to me for all of these graphics, threw for over 8,000 yards. He already had the record, and he is just continuing to set new standards here at LaSalle High School.
And like you said at Villanova, 8 looks better than a 7.
That's right.
And Bob, when you talked to Gavin at Villanova, I believe he said he didn't even realize he was breaking records. Gavin's just so focused on winning games.
So there was a flag and there was extracurriculars on that extra point as we were filming the celebration on the sideline. 2:56 to play. Heck made the extra point, so it is now 21-0, and LaSalle can just pound this into the end zone if they would like. That's exactly what Heck will do. 2:56 to play. Certainly go time for Imhotep now if they want to take a run at this. They do get the football to start the second half. And so the blueprint is very clear. You got to move down the field here, score, not give LaSalle much time to score again before the end of the half, and then get the football to start the second half. LaSalle's defense, I think they can start to pin their ears back here and really look to get after the quarterback.
Bob, like you mentioned all the time, this middle 8 is so important, and it's going to be extra important here for Imhotep.
McLeish into the flat. Big hit there by Chima Auguste. And an extra one right at the end, and a flag comes in. I know we're not going to have a replay that's going to have the whistle and the sound on it. This is tough. This whistle has to be blown earlier if you're going to make this call. Those whistles were only starting to blow. It's a loud environment here. Lucas Johnson is finishing the play till he hears the whistle. And if this is indeed the call, that's a tough one. Can't say I blame the LaSalle faithful on that one. There's Brett Gordon. Arm in arm. How about that? Having what at first blush appears to be a very respectful conversation. I can understand the dissent, but it's first down and 10 for Imhotep.
That was great camera work there, Dave.
David Navo, our guy. Into the flat. Chappelle runs through one tackler, stays in the field of play, gain of 2.
We've talked about Chappelle all game, and he's really been a great weapon for this Imhotep offense.
Absolutely, Jack. And his 15-yard touchdown against Lincoln High School last week was a game changer, as well as the 101-yard interception.
Second down, 7 yards to go. LaSalle shows pressure and then backs off. And the ball came out quick. McLeish had more time there, I think, than he expected. Watch this. You're going to see the linebacker look to come. That's Halig, and then back off. And I just think McLeish is trying to get this ball out too quickly. There's miscommunication between he and the wide receiver. Couple folks checking in. Thanks to Mary Beth Schmidt watching from Amelia Island, Florida. Thanks for such a great broadcast, and go Explorers. Our buddy Joe McNichol watching on his phone from the 4th tee box at Citizens Bank Park. I wish we could put this on. Upper Deck Golfing. Not a sponsor, but a really cool event. On 3rd down and 7, getting in there on the play, Josh Simmons. The running back converted to linebacker. 2 huge plays early on here today. Well timed, I think. If you're an Imhotep fan, maybe you have that a hair early. But I think you get in there just when that ball's arriving and displace the football.
Bob, I'm a little bit surprised that Imhotep has the punt team out again. Down 3 scores, I would expect them to be a little bit more aggressive with going for it on 4th down. This one is pretty long, but on a few other ones, I think they could have pulled the trigger on that.
Now, if you have a fake punt, maybe this is the place for it. Instead, it's driven. And that's the second time that they've punted from 4th and let's call it less than 8 on the other side of their own 40. And maybe this one, isn't quite as puzzling as the one when they punted 4th and 5 from LaSalle's 45, but the situation is different. You're down 21-0. LaSalle has all the time in the world to go down and score here to make it 28-0. That's one I agree with you, Pat. You think about going for it if you're Imhotep Charter.
Yeah, and if you're Imhotep, you don't want to give this LaSalle offense too many chances because they're just so good and convert so much that I feel like more than 50% of the time they're just going to drive down and score a touchdown and extend their lead.
On the other hand, though, if you're Imhotep, you don't want to give LaSalle the ball even closer to their end zone.
It's a first down. The clock will stop momentarily as they move the chains. It will restart upon those chains being reset. That's all dictated by the white hat, who stopped momentarily and then waved it again after a few seconds. LaSalle in the 2-minute drill, sitting down in coverage. Chima Auguste, he stood up at the 40-yard line. Gain of 4. Clock continues to run. All 3 timeouts for LaSalle. They won't huddle up, you wouldn't think, the rest of the way until there is a stoppage. Underneath for J.P. Oates. Knows exactly where he needs to get to. First down Got 6 when he needed 5. That clock will again stop momentarily, and LaSalle has all those timeouts, and they'll use one of them with 59 seconds to play. And a statement type of drive here where you can feel a lot differently going into the half up 28 versus 21. Sure, it's a comfortable lead any way you slice it, but 28, it starts to get away from Imhotep quickly.
And then once it's at 28, you have to mention that if it does get to 35, it would be a running clock. I also think LaSalle is so good at this hurry up offense because sometimes they run it even when they don't need to. It's not always under 2 minutes when they're doing it. Sometimes they're just doing it to speed up their opponent.
Or not allow the opponent to substitute, et cetera, et cetera. Absolutely right. A couple folks checking in on Twitter. Phyllis Gannon watching LaSalle and Danny Lawyer from Lehigh Acres, Florida. By the way, our buddy Joe McNichol, I think we're going to need Bill Wasilenko to double-check this. Joe says, I believe I still hold the LaSalle football record of most interceptions in a career. So, Joe, I think possibly on the wrong end of that thing. I think. Sorry, Joe. Let us know if that's not the case. Our buddy Tim McDonald says, hello from all the way down in D.C. Also gave an opinion that I won't share about the personal foul call after the play a few downs ago from Lucas Johnson. Thanks to our buddy Tim for checking in. Sidwar. Good movement in the pocket. Out of bounds into after the catch, so that'll stop the clock. Owen Johnson on the catch. That's a great play by Gavin Sidwar, and he's incorporating more and more of this pocket mobility to augment his already terrific repertoire. Chuck Hempshire, streaming from Florida, says, go LaSalle. .52 seconds left, 2 timeouts for LaSalle, right back to the spot where Imhotep punted from a mere 45 seconds of game time ago. And whistles everywhere. Delay of game against the LaSalle offense. By the way, while we're talking about our buddy Chuck, really, I don't know, as good a time as any, I'd say, to tell you about the Great American Pub, a great spot to enjoy yourself with family and friends before, during, or after the big game. With 3 locations, Conshohocken, Wayne, and Phoenixville, there's always a Great American Pub near you. On a nice day, check out the rooftop bar in Conshohocken or take your family to a nice dinner. Thanks to Chuck Hempshire, proud LaSalle dad and supporter of Bob Long Sports and LaSalle Athletics, as well as Charlie, his son who played football and basketball and is now involved with the business. That's our buddies over at Great American Pub. 1st and 15. A lot of contact there. No flag. The intended receiver was the freshman Reed. .47 seconds to play. 3 downs to get the first down with the line to gain at the 32.
Jordan Reed now checks out of the game.
And even if LaSalle can't score a touchdown here, Chris Heck does have a pretty good leg. If they get close enough, he could hit one for 3 points.
Yeah, Pat. Chris Heck is 3 for 4 on field goals this year.
Azir Nelson. And you think they have to burn the timeout now. For now, they won't, and now they do. No, I guess not. There's an odd situation going on with the scoreboard where it said 40 seconds for about 4 seconds, and then all of a sudden it said 36. Only now will they call timeout. And I think the confusion about the scoreboard may have had something to do with that. Maybe I'm out of my lane altogether, but that was odd on this Northeast High School scoreboard. So a timeout called, second of 3 timeouts that they can take with 29 seconds left and 2 downs, you would think, to get the first down. I guess there's a world where if you get nothing here, Jack Burns, maybe you think about punting it away because you don't want to give Imhotep any time to get down the field. But I think with some of the struggles in special teams at times for Imhotep, knowing it's very likely touchdown or bust. I think you take that to your advantage and go for it on fourth down if you have to, and maybe you call this play with that in mind.
Right, even if they punted, and Imhotep gets the ball, I think they'll still have. I don't think they'd have enough time in this quarter to get down the field enough for a touchdown.
Well, Salle doesn't want to even worry about that. They want to find a way to the sticks here on 3rd and 13. Sidwar. And it's right at the line. It all depends on the spot. Owen Johnson on the reception. And they are waving the sticks forward. It looked that way. I saw the wave, and now perhaps they are going to measure. Nope. Now it says first down, and the sticks are moving. Yeah, everybody's trying to figure it out in live time, officials included.
I don't think we've seen the sticks measured yet this year,
No,
Bob.
that's right. Got to about the 31, and they needed to get right to that line for the first. Sidwar with a great pocket, zings it over the middle. J.P. Oates gets out of bounds. An astute play by the senior tight end.
And that's what JMU wants to see. J.P. Oates clearly knew where he was on the field and clearly knew time and score.
They may like it for the football IQ standpoint, but I'm not sure he'll be playing the position. Might be an outside linebacker at the next level. That's what they're really interested in him for. But that's the beauty of being a terrific athlete that can play multiple positions. His story is yet to be written. First down and 10. Sidwar with all the space in the world. He'll take off with it, and now LaSalle will have to call that timeout with 10 seconds left. That clock moved all the way down to 9, and now it's at 5. And again, I just wonder if LaSalle wanted more time on that, but here comes the kicking unit. So that'll be the last offensive play of the half.
And I wouldn't be surprised if J.P. Oates does play defense at JMU because this year on defense coming into this game, he had 26 tackles and 2 sacks.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable off the edge. I feel like he generates pressure so often that quarterbacks can't really handle it. And he's so athletic and fast, he can really hit too.
And it's so impressive for J.P. Oates, who is newer to defense.
Yeah, he's picked it up really fast. And the LaSalle defense does a lot, shifting around the linebackers and stuff, which he's been great at.
A 31-yard field goal for Chris Heck. The hold is good. The kick has enough leg, and it is good. And that'll wind the clock to 0, and LaSalle has a 24-0 lead.
He is now 4 for 5 on field goals this year.
What a half for the LaSalle Explorers. Imhotep will get the football back to start the second half, but this has been dominant on both sides of the football. LaSalle has 24 minutes to punch their ticket to a matchup against Easton Area High School in the quarterfinals of the 6A bracket. A couple other folks checking in before we head to our break. Damian Zajac goes by Damer. Class of 1982, one of the last Tex Flannery disciples, he says. Checking in from Collegeville. Our buddy Steve Dolan and WizWit Sports. Checking in from Flowertown's got the whole family watching. Great to hear from you, Steve. Great to hear everybody continue checking in over the course of the game. Thanks for being with us. We'll take a break, and we'll come back on the other side. You are watching LaSalle College High School football, Imhotep football in the District 12 Championship right here on Bob Long Sports. Stay with us.
At Burns Design Group, our passion for visual and literary design forges powerful, lasting brands, from nonprofits and small businesses to Fortune 500 companies. We create and refresh brands from the ground up and inside out. We transform culture. We drive growth, profitability, and market leadership. We're a group of hands-on veterans who hold more than 150 years of brand strategy and design experience. Burns Design Group. What's next? By design.
We're here to show you a better way to spend your state income taxes and get the money to where it's needed the most to the thousands of qualified kids.
What we like about Blocks is they really know where the need is.
This program ensures that their dollars come 100% into these kids for their tuition assistance.
If you are able, Blocks makes the EITC piece go very quickly and very smoothly.
Turn your PA state tax liability into need-based scholarships and receive a 90% tax credit.
Dunphy Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue.
Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
My name is Patrick Donahue, a franchise consultant with FranChoice, the premier network of franchise consultants in America. FranChoice is a company that helps people find a franchise business that's the perfect fit for them. We work with the people who want to own a business but don't really know how to find one that's both a top-notch opportunity and a great match. We specialize in franchise opportunities with the following 3 characteristics: low investment, high margin, and rapid break-evens. The best thing about our service is that it's free to the public. We're paid by franchise companies for this service. The process is simple. First, we do an introduction. Then the candidate provides me with information. We have a consultation based on that information, and we build what's called the model. Once we have that model, we'll share that with 3 great opportunities that match your criteria. I will follow up with you through the entire process. Obviously, the best opportunities fit the criteria mentioned above, and the right way to find those opportunities is to spend some time with the people who work with the very best franchise companies looking to expand in your local area. I'm humbled by your consideration, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Meet David and Kay, a dynamic team with a shared mission to help you turn your real estate dreams into reality. What sets them apart? Their wealth of experience, combined with a genuine passion for guiding clients every step of the way. They believe everyone deserves personalized attention, fair treatment, and expert advice throughout the process, ensuring your journey is smooth and successful. David and Kay go above and beyond to meet your needs, ensuring expectations are not just met, but exceeded. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor, their personalized approach and commitment to service make every real estate journey smooth and rewarding. Contact them today to get started on your next real estate adventure.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
So, it's time for your business to renew your lease. Or perhaps you're right-sizing or relocating. This can be an exciting time, but it's also a major project to undertake. Hundreds of decisions to make, some of which may impact your business for the next decade. You know you need an expert on your side from start to finish. What if this expert had no conflicts of interest, no landlords to answer to, and a fiduciary responsibility to work solely in your best interest? Someone who knows the questions to ask, the levers to pull, the pitfalls to avoid. Enter the experts at Gola Corporate Real Estate. They've seen it all over the course of thousands of transactions in dozens of industries. Gola gets it. And what if those experts came with a team? Subject matter experts to manage everything that comes with this process. Space planning and design, relocation planning and budgeting, helping you manage your vendors, construction oversight, all with zero out-of-pocket cost to you. A turnkey experience that adds real value that flows right to your bottom line. Gola gets it. We've been partnering with clients like you for over 40 years, and we know what's important: solving problems, creating flexibility, protecting and stretching your dollars. Philadelphia-based with a national presence. Get to know Gola. Gola gets it.
When your car needs repairs and you can't wait, Meineke can help. With life's crazy schedule between work and family, you'll love Meineke's same-day service. Call today and Meineke will get your car in today. For new brakes, exhaust repairs, or your check engine light comes on, trust Meineke to do the job right. And families have been coming to Meineke for years because Meineke works on any make or model vehicle. Same-day service, value, and trust. Meineke, doing car care right.
Be a part of the biggest live events. The must-see matches. The game day celebrations. Experience live sports and entertainment the way they're meant to be seen. With Joe Hand Promotions, the global leader of live entertainment for bars, restaurants, and cinemas. Create unforgettable moments that fans won't want to miss. Keep the food and drinks flowing with watch parties that will bring customers in the door and expand dwell time. And watch as these visitors turn into loyal customers with exclusive content relationships with the nation's largest sports and entertainment providers. In over 10,000 bars, restaurants, and cinemas across America, and customizable packages for every type of venue. Make your business the place for the next must-see event. Because if fans can't make it to the stadium or arena, your venue is the next best place.
Find what a luxury SUV should be. A V6 twin turbocharged engine. Available 64-color personalized ambient lighting and 24-speaker sound system. Biometric cooling, Pro Pilot Assist, and so much more. Experience the Infiniti QX80 today at Faulkner Infiniti of Willow Grove and redefine your luxury expectations. To be sure.
Next Play Basketball is the largest AAU program in the greater Philadelphia area. Next Play also offers camps, clinics, and private training for boys and girls, 3rd to 12th graders. They teach the Next Play mentality to help athletes have success on and off the court. Next Play coaches focus on each player's development through high-level coaching and a competitive environment. If you would like to join the Next Play family, go to nextplaybasketball.com for more information. They will be hosting spring tryouts starting in January.
Last weekend, Catholic schools went 13-0 against public schools in PIAA playoff games, and the Catholic schools just continue to dominate. If that is not impressive enough, Catholic League schools have outscored their opponents 126-20 this weekend. Yesterday at 7 p.m. at Whitehall High School, Roman Catholic defeated Whitehall 49-7 in the PIAA 5A first round. This morning here at Northeast High Super Site, Cardinal O'Hara defeated West Philadelphia 34-6 in the PIAA 4A District 12 Championship. Also earlier today at Germantown Super Site at 1 p.m., Lansdale Catholic defeated Lakeland 43-7 in the PIAA 2A first round. Jack and Pat, LC has been so impressive this year and led by their quarterback. Pat, why don't you tell me something about him?
Yeah, LC's quarterback is a very good passer, but also a very strong runner. I believe he had 1,000 rushing yards this year, and they've had a really, really great season.
Jack, any thoughts on LC?
I think they've been great. They've done a great job this season to get to the playoffs and do a great job there and win their game today.
And we saw Roman Catholic have a really, really good game against LaSalle College High School earlier this year at Widener. Thoughts on Samaj Beals?
Samaj Beals is a great quarterback. You know, he's really mobile, gets around in the pocket, but he can also run, and he has some great targets to throw to.
Jack Burns, thoughts on Ashton Roberts?
He's a great player, and he does a great job on his team and a great job in his games.
And Connor O'Hara, Maj Gowans, the running back, first team All-Catholic. Pat, we got a chance to see him earlier this year. Tell me something about him.
Yeah, he looked amazing against the LaSalle defense, and he stays so low to the ground. He's very hard to bring down and has scored a lot of touchdowns this year.
Jack, what about you?
I agree with Pat. You know, he's a great player. He does fantastic work on the field.
Yeah, and moving on, this is a District 12 6A championship game. This game was originally called the City Title Game, originated in 1938 between Catholic League and Public League champions. This game was played annually until 1979 in major stadiums, which were Franklin Field, Veterans Stadium, Municipal Stadium, and Temple Stadium. This game was revived in 2008 as part of the PIAA playoffs, now held at local high schools. LaSalle lost the 2008 revival game to George Washington 23-14. LaSalle has not competed for a city championship in 10 years, but they have won 8 total city championships and have come in second place twice. If this game stays the way it is right now, they're going to have 9 city championships under their belt. Pat, what is it like to be here and witness this Explorers team?
Yeah, LaSalle's been great all year, and it's really cool to see him go up against such a great public league opponent just because those two leagues have such a great history, especially Imhotep. They've been one of the best teams in that league for so many years, and LaSalle's been so great in the Catholic League for so many years. It's amazing to see this showdown.
Jack, if you're Imhotep's coach down 24-0 at halftime, what are you preaching to your team?
I think you're preaching to keep going, not be just not lose hope, not lose faith, and to keep batting down on offense and defense.
Yeah, and me and Bob were getting into this a little bit earlier, but although this is only the 5th time these two teams have played each other, this rivalry is so great. The first time these two teams went to battle was in 2013. That game ended with Imhotep on top, winning 40-28. Imhotep defeated LaSalle in 2018 as well, but LaSalle evened the rivalry by winning games against Imhotep in 2019 and 2021. Here in 2025, this game will break the tie. What are your second half predictions? First with you, Pat.
I think LaSalle will remain dominant in this one. They've just dominated the line of scrimmage and generated a lot of pressure on McLeish. I think that will continue, and I think Brett Corden won't let off the gas pedal.
Jack, like me and Bob mentioned, Gavin Sidwar is only a few touchdown passes away from one record in single-season touchdown passes, but he's also a few touchdown passes away from 100 career touchdown passes. How amazing is that, and how amazing is Gavin Sidwar?
It's amazing. It really is. I mean, you take a guy like him who's been nothing but great his entire LaSalle career, and you see him get these achievements. It's really a show of how great his work ethic is and how great of a player he is and how dedicated he is to this sport.
And Bob, we were talking about PCL teams that aren't LaSalle. Can you tell us something about other PIAA teams?
No, I just wanted my folks up here, the student commentators, Jack McGuire, Jack Burns, Pat Burkhead, to take the halftime show. Great job, guys. I appreciate you, and you guys have done a great job all season long and continue to get better and get more comfortable on the broadcast side of things. So keep up all the work that you're doing. Non-Philadelphia Catholic League, non-District 12 action. There's some big things, and we talked about some of them at the top of the broadcast. Easton Area High School, as impressive as anybody last night, winning 42-17 against a solid Parkland team that also went into that game undefeated. But it kind of felt like this Easton team was special, was different, quite frankly, than the 6A representatives at the District 11 level have been for the better part of a decade. And so they'll get the winner of this game next Friday or Saturday, and I think that Easton will be a tough out regardless of who goes to that game, and a game we're hopeful to broadcast next week.
I was tuning into that game, and Parkland and Easton, they had a really good competitive first half. Easton kind of got away with things in the second half. And Easton's announcers think that they can take on LaSalle on any given day. So I'm excited to see if this matchup of LaSalle and Easton occurs.
Yeah,
We will find out.
Jack, their head coach, Matt Seneca, was also a great player in high school. He played at Allentown Central Catholic, and my dad actually played with him. So Allentown Central Catholic used to be a very good team in the 90s, won a few state championships.
Other action, Harrisburg hammered Manhunt Township today. And that's a really good township team, or so we thought. And certainly anytime you play Harrisburg, that's not to take anything away from Manheim Township. That's a great program that's been really good. And I think their only losses over the last 2 or 3 years have been to Harrisburg. But they certainly weren't able to get over the hump today. That sets up Harrisburg to take on, you would think, in 2 weeks. I mean, not to take anything away from the other folks in that bracket, but you would think that Harrisburg would be the odds-on favorite to get to the state semifinal, and they would take on the winner of State College, in all likelihood, against the winner of Central Catholic and North Allegheny. So we're talking about a District 7 WPIAL championship happening at 6:05 tonight between Central Catholic, who LaSalle played in week 1, the opening week of the season, and North Allegheny, who Art Walker, head coach of North Allegheny, also used to coach at Central Catholic. That has become a constant on the calendar in the 6A championship at the WPIAL level. So that winner will play State College in all likelihood. And then State College is phenomenal. They could represent the west side of that bracket in a semifinal, and very likely that Harrisburg will play in that semifinal as well. And I know that LaSalle and Harrisburg, they played each other in the first game last year. LaSalle beat them 45-7. That has not stopped the Harrisburg faithful from wanting that game again this year. They felt like LaSalle maybe ducked them with the opening game of this season, and so they want that game. And I think LaSalle would take it as well, and if that's the final we were to get, that would be a good one. But there's about 3 teams in between that could beat Harrisburg along the way, and 2 teams that could beat LaSalle along the way, and so that is looking way too far ahead, but could be a heck of a final if we get there.
And how do you think this LaSalle team feels having handled Harrisburg last year and handling Pittsburgh Central Catholic this year?
Yeah, handle's a strong word for this year, right? I thought Pittsburgh Central Catholic's defense was the best defense that I have seen play this LaSalle club. And Owen Herrick was a first-year quarterback, sophomore quarterback, his first varsity start. It's only natural that he would get significantly better, and he has, over the course of the year. So I wouldn't look at that 17-point spread and say that's necessarily what you would expect in round 2. LaSalle's gotten a heck of a lot better, too. No doubt about it, particularly the defense. But that would be a great final if we all had the opportunity to see it. So thanks to Jack McGuire, Jack Burns, Pat Burkhead, our student commentators, that's the word. But our folks helping us out here. And I'm Bob Long as we get underway in the third quarter. Imhotep to receive. And an automatic touchback. David Navo on the camera. He is awesome. He's the best in the biz. We're so happy to have him with us here again today. Imhotep, down 24, needs to get going.
And I think in order to get going, Joe McLeish needs to hit his targets more accurately than he did in the first half. And I think some of those important targets are Zaire Pollard, Brian Colmer, and some of the other receivers and running backs that Imhotep has.
McLeish stands in the pocket, slings this one out wide. Chima Auguste pulls down the receiver. Gain of maybe 1. That was the running back coming out of the backfield. We've seen a ton of the sophomore Sonny Chappelle. Quite frankly, I expected to see more of Zaire Coleman. A guy who Minnesota, among other group of 5 clubs, have really taken a look at. 6 foot, 205 pound, well-built running back. 2nd down and 9. Slings this one out wide, and the turf monster got Kareem Abdul-Haq. But what a story for Hawk. No one thought he'd be back this year. He had a huge game in the state title game 2 years ago, but got injured in a freak injury against Imhotep. Helmet to thigh, and it ended up causing an issue that sent him to the hospital. He had to get surgery, and he kept saying, Coach, I'm going to get back. I'm going to get back. We're going to have the opportunity to play before the end of the year. And Devin Johnson loved that out of him, but secretly didn't really think it would happen. What resilience from that young man, and he got a catch. But it sets up 3rd down and 8. McLeish over the middle. Pollard spins to the 1st down marker. He's got it and more. He got 11 on 3rd down and 7. 1st down, Panthers.
And that's what Pat was just talking about. Hit your targets. Things will work out for Imhotep if they hit their targets.
And LaSalle brought the pressure there. Great job from the Imhotep quarterback to hang tight and make his read.
And like we said, not just quarterback, not just punter, but also place kicker. A lot of responsibilities on that young man.
Gain of 2 up the middle for Sonny Chappelle. We mentioned Chappelle's story. He's been injured over the course of the year, as has his fellow sophomore backfield mate, Yazid McCorkle. They feel like these two are the next in a long line of talented backs. At Imhotep Charter, they'll have 2 more years at the conclusion of this season. McLeish slings it wide, and good wrap-up tackle there, spinning his way to within 2 yards of a 1st down, but a nice tackle by LaSalle. Sets up 3rd down and short. We've had some curious decisions to punt the football on short yardage situations, but this is 4-down territory, I am confident in saying. And so they'll split it out wide, maybe looking for a light box to see if McLeish can take off with it. Instead, he stands in and finds Pollard. He had a quiet first half, but he is the leading receiver, leading touchdown getter on this team, a 2-year starter with some big-time interest at the Division I level. Makes the catch for 7.
And now we've seen Zaire Pollard a few times in the second half. Like you said, a quiet first half, but Imhotep is definitely going to rely on him more in the second half, as we've seen already.
Yeah, Jack, Pollard looks like a pretty big target out there, and he's very athletic. He's a really great receiver and a nice option for Joey McLeish.
Big hole out to the 37-yard line. Quite frankly, before he was touched, Sonny Chappelle with 13 yards on 1st and 10.
And we haven't seen this from Imhotep's offense at all today. That halftime speech must have inspired them.
And they're going, hurry up here, Jack.
And that's what we said they shouldn't do before the game, but as we saw in the first half, it didn't work out for them.
Tiptoeing the sideline, and Pollard spins to the 28-yard line. It is right near that 1st down marker. It all depends on the spot. Initial spot has them about a half-yard short. The marker says 2nd down, and the official is pointing and saying 1st down. This is big confusion. I think they're going to have to stop this. And they did not. That was odd. That was really, really odd there. And I think we were in replay. I apologize for that. But it was 2nd down and 1. And I think what's going to happen here is they're going to move the sticks. And I don't know if they're going to call the play off or make it 2nd down and 10. But that white-hatted official was hammering that right arm forward, a seminal chop, if you can imagine that, saying that was a 1st down, but nobody, not the officials, not the line crew, saw it. And so now they're going to let the play stand as it was, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Bob, I was just going to say, it looks like we're at Florida State.
I have never seen something exactly like that before. That was odd. And I think what we may not have picked up while we were in replay, it was just a quick hitch route, and McLeish missed the target. So it was an incomplete pass. But the bigger thing was The miscommunication amongst the officials and the chain gang. So now 3rd down and 3. McLeish on the double clutch. Feathered the ball in there, and it's incomplete. LaSalle fortunate on that one. Josh Simmons got his hand in the air. I don't know that he touched it. Maybe just did enough to take the concentration away from Kareem Abdul-Haq.
And I believe that is the 3rd or 4th time that an Imhotep receiver has just dropped the ball. One of the times it was going to be a walk-in touchdown. The other 3 times it was going to be for a big gain of yards.
Yeah, that one when you talk about the touchdown, I had that one as a little bit of an overthrow. I don't think that ever touched his hands. But I hear you. Opportunities missed. 4th down and 3. McLeish, strong hands that time, and with the spot should be a 1st down. He was pushed back, but the initial point of possession was at about the 17-yard line, and they are moving the sticks.
That was a great catch by Imhotep, considering how LaSalle's defense was right on top of that, bringing him down as soon as he caught the ball.
And I don't think Joey O'Brien could have done more to force an incompletion there.
A direct snap to the senior running back, Salle Coleman. He gained 5 on 1st down. Another thing to think about, and listen, 1 foot in front of the other first, right? Imhotep has to find a way to put points on the board. It's been a good drive, but now you're looking at better than 4.5 minutes coming off the clock on this opening drive of the second half. How many drives are there actually remaining in the game for Imhotep is a question you start to wonder. That was caught, spun down inside the 10 at about the 7.
Bob, when LaSalle took on Calvert Hall here at Northeast Super Site earlier this year, you were at a wedding. And
that's right.
And you probably don't miss that because it was so hot here. But now, this time, I love this breeze. It was so hot last time.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Now it's 1st down and goal. 3 in the backfield, and they'll hand it off to Coleman, who's wrapped up by Cooper Halig. Gain of a ½ yard at most.
Cooper Halig is having an amazing day on this defense. He's made a countless number of tackles and continues to be all over the field for LaSalle.
Thing you have to start to think about, Jack, when you're talking about temperature and football is when do the snow games come? You'll remember, well, you may not remember, but LaSalle folks and Easton fans will remember a game back in 2015, a snow game held up in the Lehigh Valley area where Easton jumped ahead 14-0. LaSalle came back and won the football game en route to a state championship.
Speaking of the snow, there was a little bit this week, so maybe we might be close to that.
Incomplete. Zaire Pollard, the intended receiver. Well defended by LaSalle. I think a little bit of miscommunication there.
Jack, what day was there snow?
There was a little bit of sprinkling on one of those days this week.
Yeah, there was a day this week. I forget if it was Wednesday. No accumulation, Jack, but
it's
Jack
it's
McGuire,
a sign.
that is. But
It's a
yes,
sign.
I'm with you, Jack Burns. We got a little bit. So now 3rd down. This drive has taken more than half the quarter. You have to find a way to score here. McLeish to keep. Inside the 5. Takes a big hit at the 3. They will go for it on 4th down. It is a 3-possession game. Imhotep will almost certainly, with a score, go for 2 and try to see if they can't go 8-8-8 in 3 consecutive possessions to get to this 24 number. But it starts here. Clock stopped at 5:38 to play 3rd quarter. They spotted at the 3.
Bob, Zaire Coleman checked into the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran it up the middle to him here. He's been really effective in between the tackles all game.
Grayson McHugh is out there on the field at the defensive end spot for LaSalle. 4th down and goal from the 3. They do hand it off up the middle, and with the push, he gets in there. Touchdown, Imhotep. Pat, I thought you were crazy when you were talking about running it up the middle on 4th and goal from the 3. But Devin Johnson trusted his big guys, and they got in for 6.
And Pat, I thought you were even crazier when I heard Grayson McHugh was out there on defense.
Yeah, Grayson used to play defense his sophomore year, and obviously had a huge interception on defense last year against St. Joe's Prep in that overtime win.
Yeah, that wasn't why I was surprised, though. I was surprised because I thought there was no way they were going to run it up the middle with Grayson McHugh on the defensive line.
So now Imhotep wants the ball to be spotted on the far side of the field as we see it, closer to their sideline. And now there is confusion. McLeish is looking for a substitution, but he'll go back to the sideline. Now one more guy comes onto the field to join him in the backfield. This is a 2-point conversion, and untouched into the end zone is Sonny Chappelle. 24-8, and you shouldn't quite go anywhere yet. Still an eternity to go in this game, and it's turned into a 2-possession football game.
And sometimes all a team needs is a little bit of momentum, and Imhotep seems pretty excited on that sideline over there.
Listen, there was a quiet confidence when we talked to Devin Johnson. He respected the heck out of LaSalle. Brett Gordon was the offensive coordinator, Devin's first year on the staff, so he has all the respect in the world for him and Mark Schmidt, both of whom coached at Imhotep. But he said, we're going to go out there and show some people that they've forgotten about Imhotep. First half was not their game by any stretch, but they controlled this opening possession, 6.5 minutes. And now LaSalle will get the football. LaSalle can take the momentum right back here by marching down the field. Christie out to the 30-yard line, and that's where the offense for LaSalle, after seemingly a very, very long break, given the long halftime, about 20 minutes, and then another 20 minutes or so on that drive of real time from Imhotep.
And if you're LaSalle, obviously you want to take some time off the clock, but you don't want to play it too conservative. If you can't pick up first downs and just give Imhotep the ball right back, that could be dangerous.
But like Bob was saying, that first drive did take a good part of the quarter, so if they want to continue to score points, they're going to need to pick up their pace.
Starts with a stop. And Ozir Nelson to the second level. Ozir Nelson ripped down at the 35-yard line. That's a 25-yard, beg your pardon, a 45-yard. Let's try that a third time, Jack McGuire. 35-yard carry from Ozir Nelson.
And Ozir Nelson's had a lot of good runs this year, 5-10 yards, but I feel like today's really broke a few for larger gains.
I agree, Pat. We haven't seen him break through many times. We've seen it a few times, a couple times, but here tonight, we've seen it a lot.
Pistol look. Ozir Nelson, the deep back. Sidwar spins away from pressure and is taken down. A 14-yard sack for Joseph Sonda, the 4-year starter and 2024 All-State awardee.
Bob, LaSalle beat Cardinal O'Hara 54-17. Earlier today, Cardinal O'Hara beat West Philadelphia 34-6. And earlier this year, West Philadelphia beat Imhotep 50-0. But here, when that chain I just gave you, at the top of the chain, you had LaSalle.
Can I dog ear that? I'm sorry. What happened? Who beat him?
Okay, so
I don't think that happened.
No, it's on the schedule, West Philadelphia.
I think that's wrong. I think that's incorrect there. 50 to let's dog ear that one.
Okay.
Let's figure that one out.
According to Eastern PA football,
here's Ozir Nelson out to the 42. Third down and a long ways to go. They need to get all the way to the 25 for a first down.
Jack, I think you got a little bit confused. It here says Imhotep beat West Philadelphia 50-0.
On the website I checked, I did see that West Philadelphia beat Imhotep 50-0. So not as impressive anymore, but at least we got the right result this time.
Third down and a long way to go. Underneath, Owen Johnson, and it sets up fourth down and 10. And I assume LaSalle will go for it here. They're absolutely in no man's land. Too long to kick a field goal. Don't think it makes a ton of sense to punt.
On a similar play to this earlier in the game, we saw LaSalle just get the ball to Joey O'Brien and let him go to work to pick up the first down. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something similar here. Just get the ball to one of your playmakers and see what he can do.
Fourth down and 9. A back shoulder ball, incomplete. And Imhotep gets off the field. What a defensive play. It's a 2-score game, and here come the Panthers back onto the field. The coverage was blanketed. Malik Drayton, who started as a sophomore, has great ball skills. He was excited for the challenge of playing against this LaSalle wide receiver core. A couple of first downs, and things start to feel a lot differently around here. LaSalle's defense looking to put a stop to that. Last drive was by far Imhotep's most successful drive moving the football, and of course their only score. That's incomplete. Trying to set up the screen, LaSalle blew that up.
Last drive, the Panthers had a lot of success just getting the ball out of Joey McLeish's hands pretty early, and two guys like Pollard who can just run in space. We see that a lot from LaSalle with Gavin Sidward on short routes to Joey O'Brien and Owen Johnson.
You see that LaSalle ran this twist here to get Jamel Williams and Kyrie Mitchell flipped up, and it was J.P. Oates that just bumped that running back, which he is allowed to do in the backfield there. And that completely blew up the screen. Second down and 10. Line to gain just inside the Imhotep 45. McLeish takes a shot against one-on-one coverage and again threw his receiver out of bounds. Incomplete is the call. It's a good ball, guys, but that's the third ball that he's thrown out of bounds. And you don't give your receiver any chance there.
And Bob, I think part of that could be Joey O'Brien playing safety. He's so dangerous, such great ball skills. You try to keep it away from him, but it is tough throwing it out of bounds that many times.
Yeah, Pat, coming into this game on defense, Joey O'Brien had 37 tackles, 11 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 interception. And today he had the block punt.
It is close here, but it's that left foot, and I don't think that left foot is still on the ground by the time he possessed the football. It's a great call on the near side of the field by that official. Now a big third down towards the sideline. Pollard brought it in, and he's got the first down. Needed 10, and he got 11. And now whistles everywhere all over the field. Initial bobble. It's really good coverage there by Hopkins. And there's a roughing the passer penalty flag that just came out and was signaled on the field. So this will move Imhotep to the LaSalle 40-yard line. A lot's going to have to go right for Imhotep, guys, but some of those things, those early indicators, are going their way.
Now, I think LaSalle needs to take a deep breath. When the team's coming back on you, it can be a little bit stressful, but I think they have the experience in a lot of tough games to hang in there and stay calm.
They show extra pressure. McLeish Sitting down in coverage. Good throw and catch right to the first down marker. I think they'll give it to him.
And these last two drives by Imhotep have been amazing, especially compared to what we saw in the first half by them.
Yeah, definitely, Jack. Must have been a great pep talk they got in the locker room during the half.
Brian Culmer, the sophomore, on that catch. They only gave him 9, 2nd down and 1. Playbook wide open, though, here with 3 downs to get the first. And he did get the first. Initial contact in the backfield, but spun forward for a first down.
Yeah, Bob, their first drive, Imhotep's first drive this quarter took over half the quarter. The second drive has not been that long. It's taken about 2 to 3 minutes.
Still got 29 yards to go. First down. As McLeish stands in, pocket breaks down, found a guy in the flat, and a good tackle by Chima Auguste.
There is a flag, though.
That came out early. And I wonder if there's an illegal formation or something like that. See the flag coming out there. An extended discussion here. And we'll keep you on the white-hatted official. An eligible lineman downfield against Imhotep. That's a little surprising. I'm thinking back to that play. I don't think it was run-pass option, or maybe my memory is going. A lot of times you'll see an eligible lineman downfield on a run-pass option because those big boys are just run blocking until they hear differently, and so they can run block, and then all of a sudden it's a pass. Guess what? You're down the field. I don't think that was the case there on that play. 1st and 15. They get close to the initial sticks. Gain of 3, maybe 4. Receipt by Bayer Murphy. Good downfield target, but hasn't been involved much today.
Seems like LaSalle's been bringing the blitz a little bit more often than in this second half, trying to put some pressure on Joe McLeish.
Jamel Williams rushed to the sideline. Imhotep has the choice as to whether they snap it or not. They will. Last play of the quarter. Over the middle, nearly intercepted. A flag came in from the back. And this one's going to go against LaSalle. Another one that LaSalle's going to want to have back. That was O'Brien there, right, Pat?
Yeah, that was Joey. I think he may have ran into the ref while trying to catch the ball.
And LaSalle has faced some rough referees. Desmond Ortiz ran into one at Father Judge. Joey O'Brien runs into one here.
Yeah, well, the bigger story is a defensive hold against LaSalle. They hate the call. We'll tell you more about that on the other side. You're watching the District 12 6A Championship on Bob Long Sports.
At Burns Design Group, our passion for visual and literary design forges powerful, lasting brands, from nonprofits and small businesses to Fortune 500 companies. We create and refresh brands from the ground up and inside out. We transform culture. We drive growth, profitability, and market leadership. We're a group of hands-on veterans who hold more than 150 years of brand strategy and design experience. Burns Design Group. What's next? By design.
A look at the scoreboard here at Charles Martin Memorial Stadium. It'll be 2nd down and 1. LaSalle hated the call, the defensive holding. But what we don't like is the rule in high school football where it's not an automatic first down. It was 2nd and 11, walk it off 10 yards. It's 2nd and 1. Imhotep changes all of that with a 6-yard run on first down. But it's something you see a lot of times down near the goal line. No, they actually had one more on time down there. So that was the last play of the third quarter. We'll tell you a little bit more about the rules situation when we come back on Bob Long Sports.
The all-new Infiniti QX80 has redefined what a luxury SUV should be. A V6 twin turbocharged engine, available 64-color personalized ambient lighting and 24-speaker sound system, biometric cooling, Pro Pilot Assist, and so much more. Experience the Infiniti QX80 today at Faulkner Infiniti of Willow Grove and redefine your luxury expectations. To be sure.
Next Play Basketball is the largest AAU program in the greater Philadelphia area. Next Play also offers camps, clinics, and private training for boys and girls, 3rd to 12th graders. They teach the Next Play mentality to help athletes have success on and off the court. Next Play coaches focus on each player's development through high-level coaching and a competitive environment. If you would like to join the Next Play family, go to nextplaybasketball.com for more information. They will be hosting spring tryouts starting in January. First play of the fourth quarter coming up here. First down and 10 for Imhotep Charter, trailing 24-8. And they'll hand it off to Coleman, who keeps getting pushed forward, ends up being a decent gain on first down. Zaire Coleman, we mentioned earlier in the contest, back up for 3 years to Jabri Wallace Coleman, now playing high-level college football, one of the best recruits in the country his junior and senior year. Coleman has significant interest from Minnesota as well as the group of 5. Second down, about 7 yards to go. Another handoff in between the tackles, maybe a gain of 1. We promised a discussion about that rule, defensive holding, and it not being an automatic first down the way it would be at the college or the pro level. You see that a lot down by the goal line, pass interference in the end zone, half the distance. Well, if it's goal to go, that's not going to result in an automatic first down, and it's something I'd love to see the NFHS take a look at one of these years. Third down, about 6 yards to go. 4 down territory. McLeish in the shotgun. He's got a man wide open, and he threw it behind his intended target. And a late flag comes in against Joey O'Brien. And let's take another look. Oh, it's a brutal call.
That's the second time that they've called the same thing.
I mean, it's not a late hit, and it's not helmet to helmet. He doesn't know where that football is. He's finishing the play. He comes in with the shoulder, and he does not hit that receiver above the shoulder area. That's an absolutely brutal call, and the replay shows it. Game-changing type call. So there was an ineligible lineman downfield and the late hit. McLeish on the keeper. McLeish is inside the 5, and it should be enough for a first down.
And it seems like Imhotep is okay with keeping the ball on the ground and running it despite the clock.
A couple inexplicable calls, however. You have to give all the credit here to Imhotep for staying with it. Staying in this game down 24-0 at half. Can they punch it in for 6, and then they'll go for 2 again? Coleman is the deep back. They'll go under center with McLeish. And LaSalle all over it in the backfield. Nice stop on the play. Kyrie Mitchell got first contact.
Bob, coming into this game, Kyrie Mitchell had 15 tackles and 2 sacks. Very talented sophomore on the football and wrestling teams. And his partner in crime, who also plays football and does wrestling, Caleb Davidson, had 15.
They're going to give Joey O'Brien. They're going to give Joey O'Brien the tackle on the play. 2nd down and goal. Back to the ground game. Inside the 5 to about the 3. It'll be 3rd down and goal. It will continue to be 4-down territory the rest of the way. Coleman, the big 205-pound running back, got the give that time around. And he remains the deep back. 2 halfbacks in a pistol look. Coleman hit in the backfield, able to nudge forward. It'll be 4th down.
I can't believe they're still running it.
And Jack, I think this is just going to be a physical football game for the remaining 8 minutes. Both of the lines are just going to go at it all game.
Jack Burns, this is a game full of runs. You gotta love it.
Oh, you absolutely gotta. This is an exciting bit right here.
4th down and goal. Ball from the 2.5-yard line. They converted on 4th and goal from this very yard line on the other side of the field for their first touchdown. Do they keep it on the ground as they did then? 2 sophomore backs in the backfield. McLeish with some confusion. Now a man in motion. Here's the 4th down snap towards the goal line. Touchdown Imhotep. He spun his way into the end zone. And we're a 2-point conversion away from this being a 1-score game.
How did he get in there?
And that was immediate. That official on the near sideline. We didn't have the best angle at it here, but he keeps those legs churning. The only question is that left elbow, but this angle is not going to give us anything definitive. The official had it clear as day and immediate that it was a touchdown. Same formation. This is the 2-point conversion. McLeish has a man. It's caught for the 2-point conversion. 24-16 with 7:39 to play in the 4th quarter. What a game.
This is why you play the second half, Bob.
Okay, that's right. What a contest. And now LaSalle will get the football with 7 minutes, 39 seconds to play. And can LaSalle find a way to start chopping some time off this clock, make the game short, and maybe score with a couple of minutes left? Because the defense has been on the field for a long time here in the second half.
One of the people back to receive the kick is Owen Johnson, who coming into this game averages 31.1 yards per kick return on 13 returns. He also took one back 99 yards for a touchdown against Malvern in Ocean City.
This kick is drilled, and it'll bounce into the end zone. This portion of today's game brought to you by PIAA Dermatology, Dr. Mary Griffin. Offering comprehensive medical and cosmetic skin care, providing early detection and treatment of skin cancer, treatment of all skin conditions, and many cosmetic options to reduce sun damage and help you love your skin. Visit them online at PIAAdermatology.com or call them at 610-664-3300. And then also want to thank Riley Rakowski and Malloy Funeral Home. Buddha Rakowski, proud, enthusiastic sponsor of LaSalle Athletics. His former teammate, Brett Gordon, and the rest of the LaSalle football team. Long way to go for this LaSalle football team. Ozzier Nelson breaks one. Out across the 50-yard line to the 45. Just what the doctor ordered. Gain of 35 on 1st and 10.
Ozzie Nelson has been truly amazing this game.
And at the end of the play there, you saw Ozzie Nelson put 2 hands on the ball. They do not want to fumble here.
Very smart play there.
And I think if you're LaSalle, even if you want to keep the ball on the ground, you have to lean on your senior quarterback, Gavin Sidwar. He's been in this position plenty of times and knows what to do at the line of scrimmage.
Plenty of times. 4-year starter.
They'll move from the shotgun to the pistol here with Ozzie Nelson. Flags and a false start is called against LaSalle. Back them up 5 yards. Folks, if you're just joining us and maybe we're saying hello to Easton fans, maybe we're saying hello to Harrisburg and Pittsburgh Central Catholic fans that are checking in 45 minutes before their kick out in Whippeal country. Thanks for joining us here. This is Bob Long Sports. Do us a favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't sign you up for anything, doesn't do anything on your end other than help us and maybe give you an insight as to when we're going live next for the next big game. First down and 15. Ozzie Nelson, patience, and then puts his foot in the ground. Gets down past the 40-yard line. Gain of 7, maybe 8.
And Ozzie Nelson was inching towards that sideline. Way to stay in bounds for him.
And as we could see from the last 2 plays, this is Ozzie Nelson time. This isn't Joey O'Brien time. This isn't Owen Johnson time or any other wide receiver time. It's definitely either Ozzie Nelson, Josh Simmons, Des Ortiz.
Second down and 7. 6 minutes to go. Can LaSalle hang on? Nelson. He's hit and dropped. It's a nice job defensively by Charles Belser, 3-year starter, Sam linebacker with offers at the Power 5 level, and it sets up a huge 3rd down and 5. And boy, if it does get to 4th down here, down, distance, and spot on the field, that's a big-time decision, whether to go for it or punt it away. Critical moment in this football game. 3rd down and 5. Line to gain is at the 33-yard line. Sidwar stands in, and he finds his man, J.P. Oates, inside the 20. You lean on your senior quarterback and your senior tight end when the moment is the biggest.
And some may say putting the ball in the air there may be a little bit risky, but Gavin Sidwar is so good. I know Brett Gordon trusts him to make those big-time decisions.
And there's not only trust between Brett Gordon and Gavin Sidwar, but Gavin Sidwar and his receivers. There's such a connection and bond that they know that they can rely on each other for those plays.
Jamel Williams back in the game on offense. Could we see the ball go to his side again?
I think we could, Pat.
You look back to that 35-yard run and then that big 3rd down and 5. The 2 things that have led to this point here where LaSalle is well within field goal range at minimum to look to make this a 2-possession game. LaSalle, I think, will also manage the clock as they can here. They certainly can't get it all the way down to 0 where they are on the field. But they can wind this clock down or force Imhotep to use some timeouts.
And it may make it a little tougher, Bob. As you mentioned, this clock seems to kind of cut a few seconds at a time, sometimes 2, 3, 4.
As it just did there.
Three wide, 11 personnel for LaSalle. Ozzie Nelson with patience, but then he's ripped down. It's a loss of 2 yards. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Belser again in the area. Not just in the area, he got himself a solo tackle and a loss of 2. 3rd and 10, another big decision. What do you do offensively? Do you go to the air here? How comfortable are you from 33 yards away, which is what the field goal would be from that far side hash? if it came to it from Chris Heck. We tick under 3 minutes to go in what's turned out to be one heck of a football game. Sidwar rolls, looking for somebody, and flings it back over the middle. Off schedule, touchdown, Joey O'Brien. The play of the game. Man, when your quarterback is in trouble, that's where you just make a play. It doesn't matter what the route was at that point. Find a softness in that defense. Joey O'Brien, excellent decision, just puts the brakes on and lets that defender fly by. What a read and what a find from Gavin Sidwar.
And I know Gavin Sidwar and the team are not worried about Gavin's records, but now he is only 2 touchdown passes away from breaking Coach Gordon's single-season record.
31-16, and can you hear that exhale from the LaSalle fan base on this side of the field?
And I love that play call from Brett Gordon. I'm very happy that he put the ball in Gavin Sidwar's hands. You know, Gavin and Joey are probably your 2 best players. Let them work something out and go get a touchdown.
Absolutely. That's a huge play for them right there, especially, being now another extra touchdown up. Not to loosen up, but they know that they have more room for Imhotep to catch up to.
Yeah, game's not over, like you said, Jack, but that's one nail right there. One early nail in the potential coffin. And Imhotep, they're going to need to find a way to score very quickly here. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining. So if they can manage that effectively, you're also probably looking at, if things go well, a potential onside kick if the time were to come. Again, long way to go for that. But LaSalle up 2 scores with 2:46 to play. And chopped down at the 29-yard line.
Gavin Sidwar has been so poised this game.
Yeah, Jack, it's so impressive. As you mentioned earlier, he's been starting for 4 years, and he really shows that he's been starting for 4 years. The way he can stay calm under this immense amount of pressure in one of the biggest games he's ever played.
The first time LaSalle has been in this game since 2015. Imhotep's been in a version of this game every year for the last decade, and they got a man over the top, contact, and no call. Intended receiver was number 13, Bayer Murphy. Ball slightly overthrown there from Joe McLeish. Maybe the receiver Murphy had a half step, but all in all, very good coverage from Lucas Johnson.
And Imhotep's been successful with the quick hitters all game. Now they might be forced to throw the ball a little bit more down the field, which they've struggled with this game.
McLeish towards the sideline and again throws his receiver into the sideline. Incomplete. Again, the intended receiver was Murphy. What a day of high school football. What a couple of nights of high school football. The 6A bracket is really starting to take shape. And it feels like that Easton LaSalle matchup, if that is the matchup next week, if LaSalle can hold on here, will be a terrific game. The District 1 championship will be North Penn against Penn Ridge. State College in the winner of Pittsburgh Central Catholic and North Allegheny, and then Harrisburg. Can somebody beat them on that side of the bracket? Good stick that time by Chima Auguste. I think they're going to give him the first down. No, they are not. They are moving the clock. Oh, my goodness. They are mistaken. The 2 officials are having discussions. And, oh, by the way, the clock is running, and Imhotep can't be happy about that. It's a botched situational thing here from these officials. You see, that is the official saying wave his arms to say that it's short. All right, we're going to replay this one more time. Near side official is waving his arms. That means that it's not a first down. If it was a first down, he would have been waving his arms over his head. Look at the top part of the screen now. That official is waving the sticks on. That's miscommunication from sideline to sideline. It's not easy, but it's a big situation. You got to handle it better than that.
And that's not the first time there's been miscommunication in this game.
So they're going to adjudicate this. Devin Johnson's going to get his licks in, the head coach of Imhotep, and quite frankly, he deserves it. He deserves the opportunity to make his point respectfully here because his guys got a raw deal on that one.
Why does it say second down? It's fourth down. This official has it. Clock should be running on fourth down.
So now the clock will start on the official's whistle. We're just not ready to run it yet. Brett Gordon is having a discussion you can see on the center of your screen. It is 4th down and 1. What a huge spot that ended up being. They are going to place it at the 4th down spot. And now a timeout is called by Imhotep with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. It's a big game, and that was mishandled in that moment. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. Let's tell you about our friend Joe O'Brien of Joe O'Brien Roofing, a family-owned company with over 40 years experience in both residential and commercial roofing. Need a new roof? Have a leak? Need patchwork? Call Joe. They have installed or repaired every type of roofing, and they can help you. Offering free estimates and inspections, offering roofing, siding, and gutter work. Joe is a proud Roman Catholic grad, but of course is very proud of his son Joey, who started at LaSalle over the past few years and certainly scored the touchdown that might just end up putting this one away. Reasonable prices, family business, local service, Joe O'Brien Roofing. 4th down and 1. This is your ball game here. Imhotep is empty. Incomplete. The ball came out quick. It hit the turf. Intended receiver was number 22, Sonny Chappelle, and LaSalle gets off the field. And with just 2 timeouts remaining for Imhotep, LaSalle can all but salt this one away. A character-building defensive stop after a character-building offensive drive. And our friends up in Easton, it's starting to sink in now. LaSalle, Easton, on either Friday or Saturday night next weekend in the 6A quarterfinal. Nelson with 7 yards up the middle.
Bob, Azir Nelson's been running like there's no tomorrow all day. Seemed like he was wrapped up there, but he just keeps those legs moving, and it seems like they can't bring him down.
And the 2 key contributors to this game for LaSalle has to be Joey O'Brien and Nazir Nelson.
And definitely Gavin Sidwar in there too, Jack. He's had a great day.
After this down, I'm going to look to you guys to pick our blocks player of the game. So we're going to make a decision on that one here as Azir Nelson does get the first down, and that will be the ball game. Blocks player of the game. We want to thank Blocks, by the way, where you can turn your PA tax liability into need-based scholarships to support your local Catholic school and receive a 90% tax credit refund. Visit Blocks online and search tax credit for more. Who's our player of the game?
For me, the Blocks player of the game has to be the wide receiver and the safety, the one that blocked the punt, the one that caught 2 touchdowns and the one that changed the game, Joey O'Brien.
Jack, I would agree with that. He and Gavin both kept his composure all game, and he made the biggest play of the game by scoring that touchdown. And obviously that blocked punt earlier in the game was huge too.
Again, I want to thank Blocks for supporting us. You can support Catholic schools by turning your PA tax liability into need-based scholarships to support your local Catholic school. I do the program. I do it proudly, and I think you should all consider it as well. It's the great time of year to sign up, as those checks have to come in before year end, and that can support your local Catholic school towards scholarship funds for families that need it. Into the victory formation, just one more snap needed. The game that folks wanted all year long. Who was Imhotep going to play? It ended up being LaSalle, and LaSalle overcomes a terrific run from Imhotep in the second half and wins 31-16. They go back to the quarterfinals, and they'll take on Easton High School, where just 16 short years ago, those two programs met at the very same spot in the bracket. A snowy day up in the Lehigh Valley led to LaSalle winning the toughest game en route to a state championship. And of course, they have those types of dreams here this year. Jack Burns, get a closing thought from you.
I think today was a great game. I think both these teams did really well, and they battled to their hardest. Imhotep really brought it together in the second half, and it showed that they were a great team and had a great season. LaSalle really picked up through this whole game a great team and a great offense, great defense.
Pat Burkhead, a 31-16 win. The scoreboard doesn't tell the tale.
Yeah, I thought the class of 2026 for LaSalle really prevailed here. Gavin Sidwar, Joey O'Brien, Grayson McHugh, they all had really big days, and I was really most impressed with Gavin. The way he made decisions in the clutch and didn't turn over the ball. He just really stayed calm in the pocket and hit his targets when he needed to.
Jack McGuire.
LaSalle came out hot in the first half, faced some adversity in the second half, battled through, and won the District 12 6A championship. What a team performance by LaSalle. Gavin Sidwar, Joey O'Brien, Ozzie Nelson. Like we just said, 3 players of the game. Easton, better watch out, but they aren't going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, Jack, I think some people thought that LaSalle St. Joe's prep game was a state championship, but I think Imhotep really proved today that the rest of the state is going to come, compete, and give LaSalle some really hard games.
And how sweet will the alma mater feel right now? A terrific pep band that has been here with LaSalle all season long. Yes, the wins against St. Joe's Prep were sweet, but this really unlocks the pathway forward. And those helmets are raised high with pride. A terrific game. We have some people to thank. I want to thank Fran Doherty, Mike Hawkins, and the group at District 12 for being open to us broadcasting this game. And we appreciate the relationship, want to continue that going forward as well because there are great stories to tell There are terrific young men in the Catholic League and the Public League, and we want to tell their story. So thanks to Mike, to Fran, for them being open to this. I want to thank you guys, Pat, Jack, and especially David Navo, helping out on the camera here tonight, as he's done a lot over the course of the year. He is truly as good as it gets, and nothing gets by that guy. So David, thank you, and we'll see you guys along the way. I want to thank the high school football community as we now look down to Brett Gordon with the District 12 Championship Trophy. He has that conversation with his guys. I want to thank the high school football community for following us all year long. Again, if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to what we're doing here. We try to tell stories. We try to bring the game to you for folks near and far that aren't able to get here for one reason or another. And then on the days you can get to the game, please do get out here in person, because there's nothing quite like being at the game. And if you're looking for good football the rest of the evening on the high school side of things, check out the NFHS Network and their coverage of the 6A championship in the WPIAL between Central Catholic, a fellow Christian Brothers school, and North Allegheny, a matchup that we've seen year over year over year in that very game. Maybe you'd put Central Catholic as a favorite there, but North Allegheny has a tradition and a level of excellence that could allow them to pull through. And as you look at that bracket, you feel that the winner of North Allegheny and Central Catholic, yes, they'll have to go through State College, but one of those three teams is going to have a lot to say in that state semifinal. Maybe it's against Harrisburg, maybe it's not. To represent the western side of the bracket, and on the eastern side of the bracket, we know the four. Penridge and North Penn will play in the District 1 title next weekend. And in a District 11 versus District 12 showdown, it'll be Easton Area High School against LaSalle. Stay tuned for more this week in terms of where to be able to watch that game. We hope to be able to bring it to you. Congratulations to Imhotep on a great season as well. Devin Johnson has this program playing at a high level. They did not quit down 24-0, and I think that's to be commended. So that's it for us, folks. For Jack Burns, Pat Burkhead, Jack McGuire, David Navo, I'm Bob Long saying so long from Northeast High School. Site of a game that'll be remembered for a long, long time. The comeback that was in play. And the seniors from LaSalle that took that right out of the equation. The seniors from LaSalle that iced it. Have a great evening, everybody, and thanks for your support of high school athletics.